যদি সবাই ফিরে যায়, ওরে ওরে ও ভাগা সবাই ফিরে যায়, যদি গহন পথে যাওয়ার কালে কেউ ফিরে না যায়, তবে পথের কাটা তুই রক্ত মাখা চরণ তলে একলা দলরে, তুই রক্ত মাখা চরণ তলে একলা দলরে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে। যদি আলো না ধরে, ওরে ওরে ও ভাগা আলো না ধরে, যদি ঝড় বাদলে আধার রাতে দুয়ার দেয় ঘরে, তবে বজ্রানলে আপন বুকের পাঁজর জ্বালিয়ে নিয়ে একলা চলো রে, আপন বুকের পাঁজর জ্বালিয়ে নিয়ে একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে। একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে।
Happened after a long time. Yeah, I was mentioning this anyway that I'm doing it after a long time, so therefore I keep forgetting the technical stuff. So yes, thank you for joining the live stream. It's great to be back doing a live interaction with the audience after a long time. And ignore the title of the video because these are not the only points we will get into. I have some other points that I just came up with, and I mentioned it in our WhatsApp group of the CSK Vanguard. The Vanguard bros will also join. We just had a Vanguard meetup just 1 or 2 hours back. So the main Vanguard bros might not be available as of now. They will. They have said that they will probably join later. No sound even now. There is sound now, right? Oh, acha acha. Yeah, এতক্ষণে এসে গেছে। হ্যাঁ, ওরা একটু আগের কমেন্টগুলো করছে। Thanks. So we will take questions and points from the live chat as well. Whatever I find while scrolling, and new ones and new topics as well if they are introduced. But I of course won't be able to get into all of them unless they're super chats. And I will prioritize comments by members, obviously. And members also, you all can see the joining link if you all want to join the discussion later on. You all can. Vanguard bros as well later on. First, I'll share my thoughts because this is not a democracy. It is in fact a democracy. That's why we will listen to everyone's thoughts. So the core topics for today are the Iscon egg debate, the opposition practically going extinct in the country. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And the rise of animal cruelty in the country. My accusation is towards Delhi BJP for being the cause behind this. The other topics are temple freedom getting harmed by the Ram Mandir scam, the insane corruption, the mind-boggling case of the scam in the Ram Mandir. Doesn't that push back against the temple freedom movement? Because even the proponents of anti-temple freedom from the right wing were pointing out exactly these possibilities. They have been vindicated. And Thomas Massey possibly becoming the next Republican candidate. There's sort of a consensus between libertarians and the MAGA. That is also important for Indian politics and Indian foreign policy. So we will discuss that, especially if there are American politics interested bros in the live chat, like Anand and Ashkecham and stuff. And the Iran deal and the end to the war happening in a way which is, in my opinion, Israel's greatest loss in its existence since it came into existence in 1949. This has been Israel's biggest loss on the battlefield. And will the Iran deal stick? Which I don't think it will. What is the Ram Mandir scam? The scam is that all the offering amounts, about 200 crore rupees worth of offering amounts sums were stolen. Yes, no dehat shall be tolerated in Bangla. Yes. No protein shake dewa uchit. Yes, that's an important debate. Bengal non-veg cow belt culture nationally. Hello. That if the culture comes organically because of people settling here, then you can't have an issue with that, because you can't force people to eat a certain way just because they settle here. If they come here and go on with their veg eating, how will you tell them that no? If you may be from Bihar or UP or Gujarat, but if you work in Kolkata, you must eat meat. That's not what you're going to say. That's not what you mean, right? So you are not going to be tolerating or not tolerating all of non-veg eating or veg eating. But on the Iscon issue, firstly, it's not Iscon monks doing the cooking. It's Akshay Patra Foundation, who are very famous at this, who have stellar standards of hygiene and stuff. The issue is still protein. And Dr. Rudra Prasad Banerjee, who is a frequent guest on our podcast, a geneticist at Texas Medical University or Texas Medical Institute. He had the most nuanced views, I think, that after all, you are getting a government tender. So you are the government's client essentially. So why can't the government ask you to feed eggs? Or if someone else is given the responsibility to cook the fish or egg stuff on certain days of the week. Now the BJP supporter and BJP worker angle to this argument, the counter argument to this is absolutely valid, except when it comes to nutrition debate. I'm not going to take nutrition advice from random BJP supporters or from Iscon monks. That's not happening in this lifetime. But there are other arguments, which are that what was the quality of the food that kids were getting in government colleges in CPIM and Trinamool's era. Quality-wise, it's a hell and heaven difference. It's a sea change. It's planets away. The progress in terms of quality that's going to happen because of Akshay Patra handling the food, because of their state of the art automated kitchens and stuff. So if we really have to take the left's argument seriously here, it essentially boils down to, well, people of Bengal voted for BJP so that things are better than CPIM and Trinamool's rule, right? So if kids were supposed to get eggs during their era and they were not getting eggs, or they were getting rotten food with insects, which has happened many times, people have gotten caught over it. I don't think anybody's ever gotten fired. That's another issue we will discuss, which we were discussing in the CSK Vanguard live stream as well. Do check that out. We are going to live stream our Vanguard meetups from now on. So the quality was absolutely horseshit. Food amounts, quantities used to get stolen by administrators, politicians, political gundas and stuff. So now the hygiene will be fixed, the leakage will be fixed, as well as the protein demand must be met. Not that demand is wrong, unless you consider any socialist freebie policy wrong. What's happened to my eyes? Oh my god. The problem here is so not on paper that it's almost hard to justify sitting on a live stream, which is, bro, please take into account West Bengal's economy. And even with this devastated economy, if the government is indulging in so much freebies, that kid who is getting extremely high quality, albeit protein free food at his school, his mother, his sister is also getting free stuff from the government. His brother is going to get free stuff if he is unemployed, and even if he is not graduate. 2,000 rupees a month, not huge, but not nothing. His mother and sister will get Annapurna Bhandar as well as Lokhir Bhandar, and he'll get free ration. So other than a demand for every best thing possible for every poor person possible at somebody else's dime, if that is the demand, and that's not a bad demand, it's a beautiful demand, or the entire problem is how much do you expect West Bengal's economy to cough up, bro? Let's say Akshay Patra Foundation is going to get paid now. That's not going to be a low sum, and in return the kids are finally getting good hygiene food, but they're not going to get protein. So do we let the poor people suffer in a lack of protein? If you're a poor country, yes, and commies allege that we have not gotten richer at all. So I guess we are still a poor country, as poor as we were in 2014. So, and in that poor country, we are in a poor state. So how much are you really going to get for poor people at somebody else's dime? Now, to counter the right wingers, I have no idea if people are agreeing or disagreeing with me. I'm blind without my glasses. When did this start? Stickle, Anand, it started 10 minutes ago. And by the way, just for as an update, I will mention what topics we are going to get into. Temple freedom, harmed or not, the temple freedom movement by the Ram Mandir corruption scam. Thomas Massey becoming the next Republican candidate, possibly Israel's biggest loss in its existence. Will the Iran deal stick? The Iscon egg debate, opposition extinction, and rise in animal cruelty in India because of allegedly the BJP. I don't agree that you can't get protein for growing kids without eggs. I just can't accept this argument. Theoretically, it's possible to eat a kadai full of rajma and broccoli to meet your protein goals. But eggs are just the logistically most convenient and affordable way to do it in the world of protein. If we don't get into the world of protein, then whatever Akshay Patra is going to provide them is absolutely beautiful and brilliant. But I've heard of taste issues as well. It's so bland, people can't, kids refuse to eat it because they won't put onion and garlic there. So it's not that it's not a torture, but again, what are those kids getting at home? Is it better than what they're getting at home? And is it better than what the previous governments were doing, providing? That's the saddest question we have to deal with. It's definitely easier to grow muscle with meat, but that's also for things like athletes. You are not wrong, Stigl Mako. The problem is, like, up until my accident, I was vegan myself, and my physique and muscle mass was as good as it is today, even though now I eat eggs almost every day just because I'm bored and I had been bedridden for a long while after my accident. I don't eat dairy unless it's a friends gathering, people are ordering pizza, etc., and chocolates and stuff, and I don't eat meat. So you don't need to convince me that you can get quite a lot of protein from veg food, but no religious Hindu has any knowledge of veg-based protein. Almost 99.99% of them, except especially people in the Vaishnavite sects and stuff. Okay, their knowledge of protein begins and ends with soybean and paneer. Soybean is not problematic, but it's not everything first and foremost. And what quality? It has to be insanely high quality soybean to get any protein out of that. The problem with paneer is a bit of which will also be there in eggs as well, but paneer is is very bad in this context, which is the estrogen, the steroids, the hormones, the antibiotics that are fed to the cows are also going into the masses body, the people's body who are consuming dairy in heavy quantities. And if you want to meet your protein goals with fucking paneer, bro, you are drowning in estrogen. Say goodbye to erections almost. I probably will get sued by milk making companies. I am exaggerating, bros. Don't sue me. But this is a joke, bro. This is exaggeration. But yes, protein quantity is very low in veg items. You have to eat really good pulses, really sorted out pulses in perfect balance and stuff, and a lot of it, and high quality bits of it. Only then you are going to get some protein. Have you seen conditions of poultry? Absolutely, yes. Those hens that people eat with the hopes of meeting their protein goals, they are not getting any as well. And it's very bad quality. They have their own hormone problems, poultry, antibiotic stuff. All that's going into the egg as well. Difference is, you face almost the same amounts of problems that you face with paneer in the world of eggs, but the protein is higher. In one egg, you get 4 grams of protein. If you want to get 4 grams of protein from paneer, good luck to you. Hey Dada, do you think it's the first step of BJP to push their vegetarianism? I don't know what the sentence pushing vegetarianism means. I think it's just a rhetorical device applied by the opposition. I don't expect Akshay Patra to provide meat or eggs and dairy. All I'm asking is, if the West Bengal government can at all afford it, which I'm not sure they can, if they can afford it, they should ask somebody else to provide some eggs as well. Other than that, in terms of quality, it's a huge jump. No, 6 gram protein from eggs, bro, that's probably going to happen in the case of wild uh, hens and those brown eggs, farm raised brown eggs, hens. Okay, brown eggs protein. It's not happening in poultry eggs. But also, and especially hens who have been for thousands of generations been stuck only in a fucking cage and gone around getting killed upside down, hanging from cycles, and halal eaten, halal killed, slowly bleeding to death. Their eggs are not going to give you 6 grams of protein. Absolutely not. But also, meat and eggs are also adulterated. Absolutely, 100%. Not one single product in India is not adulterated unless you grow it in your terrace or backyard. Okay, our veg products are problematic for that sole basic reason. You can eat. See, first of all, when people are looking up nutrition charts, what food, what crop has how much nutrition value, which particular nutrition, all of that you are getting from Google, all of which is based on data from the Western world. India's produce does not produce that same quantity of protein or vitamin or K, D3, etc. Okay, not at all. You could have the same diet in USA and have way more protein. If you followed the Akshay Patra diet in USA, you would have twice more protein in your body. Our veg crops are horse fucking shit. So is our meat products, but you at least get some protein out of them. That's all. You can get protein out of veg as well if you are privileged enough to be in the Indian middle class and you have some affordability to sort out your food. Not the random bullshit that Akshay Patra is going to provide just because they are veg food without thinking for protein. See, protein is not their priority. They can't pretend right now that, yes, we have taken into account protein. If it's in any of their manifestos and declarations, I laugh at it. But it's not their priority. All they know is find some vegetables, don't put onion, garlic, and animal products. You have a good food right there, and it must be clean. That's all. With cleanliness, you don't get nutrition. The other argument in favor of the West Bengal government being pushed to affording eggs is it's a practical career death sentence for the people whose kids still go to government school, because for so many generations they have had low quality food. Their brain development is in the trash. Their childhood nutrition is dog shit. So on top of that, if they have veg food in their growing years, good luck employing them in anything. They can't follow basic instructions when they become 18. You'll have to write a novel explaining them just to bring your Swiggy food to your home. But an average Bihari laborer, yeah, how long does he live? How the fuck can a mutton be adulterated? I can agree with chicken, fish. Creative, muttons can be adulterated because even if they are free range, which is a huge betterment in comparison to all the other animals that people eat, that even on top of that free range stuff, so that they don't get sick often, they are given antibiotics. So that their productivity is high, they are given estrogen. So that's adulteration as well. So that you were an old commie and eat beef as well. You came so far that you don't even eat meat or dairy. I ate beef thrice in my life, 3 days in my life. I was not eating it frequently. But on average, we heard how the fuck can oh my god, so many mutton comments. Western worlds feed their animals with their own dried meat. Literally, also now they're artificially making. Yeah, lab-grown meat sounds like a good idea. Will this veg non-veg debate have any electoral ramifications for the BJP? In Bengal, no. In Bengal, nobody's bothered with election stuff. Everything is on a surface level, complaining tantrum level. Okay, that why is BJP doing this? No one's getting to the point of, okay, I have had enough of it, BJP. Fuck this shit. I am voting for somebody else. That's not happening in the next 15 years. BJP is rock solid in Bengal. And rice with dahi, one vegetable for most meals, and I was reasonably smart and fit. I don't see your points. Now, then we would have to discuss your metrics for being smart and fit. Can't you eat beef just as protein, not identifying as cow? Yeah, obviously. Except Bos Indicus, nothing is Gaumata. Which is what the commies and Muslims who argue against beef ban get wrong. They say that, oh, Indian government, India is the second biggest exporter of beef. India is not the second biggest exporter in Bos Indicus. Can't the nutritional value of our vegetables be? Yes, farm laws. गाड़ में फार्म लॉस घुसाना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद वो क्वालिटी लेके ही तो इशू था। आनंद रंगनाथन, संजीव सन्याल ने तो बोल बोल के मुंह में बीजेपी रिग्ड इलेक्शन। अच्छा, मतलब 2040 तक भी फैमिन जेनेटिक रिकवरी नहीं होगा। आई डोंट सी हाउ it will get better in the urban areas because people are becoming more and more meat eaters just because of coolness and stuff. Don't you think the water flow coming from Bangladesh, which is highly polluted, and you eat those fish, isn't it? Absolutely, yes. Of course. But in Bengal, most of the fish comes from Gujarat. 10 pull-ups at 1750. Now, how much is that because of your genetics, hereditary, overall good quality food forever because you're Tamil Brahmin, and versus what was your potential if you had, in fact, eaten eggs? How do we know that those 10 pull-ups would not have been 20 pull-ups? Are we not getting too much overconfident when we say that BJP is rock solid for the next 20 years? I'm saying 15 at least. But Paramita Deep, Indian politics has a vibe to it, has a nature. Indian democracy has a nature. And especially Bengalis. See, the Indian state is an elephant. It moves slowly, and when it moves and sits down somewhere, it does not get up. That's obviously a metaphor, but you won't believe how many kinds of ramifications this phenomenon has in everyday dealings between the civilian and the state. And in those dealings, it's absolutely solidified in everybody's minds that, yeah, BJP is way better. BJP is doing a job way better than we expected. Yes, even if you are a commie right now who's thinking, my God, BJP, if you're a commie who did vote for BJP and now is pissed off with BJP for the hawker evictions, I'm talking about that section, okay? That section is also thinking, yeah, man, fuck the BJP. See, this is what I knew was going to happen. They are going to create some ruckus, but I had to kick out Trinamool anyway. So yes, I will see who I can vote for in 2031, and there's going to be no opposition in 2031, and that person is going to have nobody else to vote for. That person will either not vote or vote for BJP again. And there are other commies who are now, even let's say after voting, they just have not moved back to crazy commie views again. They're like, okay, yes, fair enough, I'll go with the eviction drive as well. What's so bad in it? There's a huge human tendency, social psychology tendency like this as well, that, yeah, okay, is that really so bad? Yeah, I never thought of it, I never demanded it, I never would have liked it for it to happen if Trinamool came asking me, Mamta phoned me and said, would you sir, as a civilian, actually be in favor of an eviction drive? I would not have been. But if it's happening and I see the results, what's so bad? And if they know any details of the hawker industry, the beggar industry, the mafia behind it, the Trinamool collusion behind it, then they are not bothered about it anyway. Can we talk about Iscon controversy? We just did that for the last 20 minutes, Sanpi. If you want to get back to it, yeah, fair enough. You suggest, you point out anything and we can discuss that. What is your protein source? Mainly pea protein. Those 1 or 2 eggs in the day, which I don't count. Yeah, I get 8 grams of protein if I am eating 2 eggs. But my main dependency is on protein shake that I get from pea protein, PEAP. I used to depend upon soy protein, but soy protein shakes have just one problem. Soy protein is chemically extracted from the soy. Pea protein is mechanically extracted from the pea itself. So I just like it more. And soy does have some estrogen issues, although people keep debating whether the phytoestrogen acts like actual estrogen or not. I've heard many trusted people I trust in regards to nutrition say that that's not a factor, and I've seen many people who I do trust about nutrition also say that no, it matters. So I'm divided on that. I don't have an opinion on the phytoestrogen issue. So I just love my pea protein powder, which gives me 23 grams of protein in a scoop of 30 grams, 1 glass. That's my fast breaking food. So the MF started complaining about hospitals and roads just after BJP came. Those, in what way, Tony Stark? Do you mean they are complaining that BJP is not building enough hospitals and roads, or BJP is building too many hospitals and roads? Because BJP is building roads, right? How much average protein should an average male, female have per day? No, roughly it depends on your height and weight and whether you are working out or not. If you are working out, you are above 30, then your protein intake must go above 40 grams per day. If not, you need at least 30. You should be having 30 grams just to sustain your muscle density, bone density, and if you don't want to survive entirely on medicines after 45. But ultimately, Sanpi, if we are not discussing simply Bengal politics, vegetarianism, anti-vegetarianism, culture, etc., if we are simply discussing purely the health aspect, then ultimately you have to work out and not yoga. You have to lift weights, whether it's your body weight, you do push-ups and stuff, or whether it's actual bodybuilding stuff, which is not as helpful as bodybuilding, functional workouts and freehand exercises, but even kettlebell swings, etc. Unless you are doing that, none of your calcium and protein intake is going to where it's required. All of that is going to waste. Unless you create demand for calcium and protein in your body, calcium is not going to your bones, protein is not going to your flesh. That's just the reality of your body. 40 grams. Yeah, 40 grams depends on your workout. If you are a full-time athlete, if you are doing CrossFit every day, then you are not going to be happy with, then 40 grams won't do. Why are many Bengalis not veg even though the land is very fertile? Because it's a riverine area. Rivers are the mainstay, so you get fish from rivers. Yoga doesn't do any good. What about Surya Namaskar? Yoga is best for blood circulation, and if you work out otherwise, especially if you do heavy lifting and stuff, and you don't do yoga, then you are very screwed. Then you won't be able to do all that workout for your entire life. So you have to include some yoga posture, some yoga based workouts as your either warm up or I don't do it as warm up anymore. I do it as cool down, but you have to involve them somehow or some way in your workouts. Without yoga, you are fucked. But only yoga, you are also fucked. With only yoga, you are not fucked. You won't die. You will have a long, healthy life, but you will never be strong. And bone density, muscle density issues might not happen to you if you do really high quality yoga for a long time. If you're like a proper yoga practitioner that you do it 5 days a week, then you probably won't have those issues because there's so much muscle stability workouts going on in yoga that your bones and flesh is roughly taken care of, but you are weak as fuck anyway. Anybody who is above 15 can beat you up. If you want to live that life, good luck. Fair enough. I have a Stickle Marker is saying ultimately eat what you want, but I will push back on the meat only makes you strong. No, I'm not saying meat only makes you strong. I'm saying eggs makes you stronger than Akshay Patra's diet. I have a disagreement with the Gaumata stuff. Isn't that a hypocrisy that we call a particular breed as Mata and the other is business? That's how theology happens, Tony Stark, because theology does not fall from the sky. Theology is a codification of existing social realities. The existing social reality was the species called Bos indicus was really great benefit to us, and we could not afford to have them die at a young age. They were mobile refrigerator vans for your butter and ghee at a time when none of those technologies existed. So it's absolutely understandable. Just cut your ancestors some slack. It's understandable that they would worship and make a god out of one species and not the others, even though they did make gods out of other species as well, but they just like to kill it now. But it's understandable why Bos indicus became what it was and not the other stuff, not the other species. Is that hypocrisy? In an ideal argument realm, yes, but that's just how the world works. It is what it is. Usually the prescribed amount of protein prescribes to 0.8 to 1 gram of protein for every 1 kg of body weight. Yeah, but since my expectations from Indian diet and Indian people is so low, that's why I'm not even keeping that as an ideal. I'm just saying based on what people usually manage. Essentially, they were our best friends before the dogs. Yes, bro. So many castes and surnames just based on one animal. So many names. Gopal, Goswami, Goyal, Goel. Govil is also that or what? So if being a Swami to goes was so important, yeah. Dada, we do have gods out of many animals, mainly unlike Abrahamic religions, because they never saw animals to begin with. All what the fuck did they see? Some dogs and a few camels. We do not have the earth. We do have gods out of many animals, mainly unlike Abrahamic religions. We do not have earth as a resource, and we must use everything. Mentality, ours teaches us to tries to make us conserve. Yeah, it's not working out. It's there in theory. Guy Tonde, acha. Guy, interesting. Thanks for educating us, Levin. Gupta is a cow origin surname. How bro? How? What etymology? गो से तो गुप्ता का गु आ सकता है. ता क्या मतलब पालन? पालन से क्या ता आया? We need to revive Vedic Dharma. Every other iteration of Dharma became weaker and shifted away from the core. So we became Anarya. अनार्य का इंटरेस्टिंग स्पेलिंग है भाई. देखो कैसे कॉलोनाइज कर दिया भोसरी के हमारे लैंग्वेज को. एन आर्य से अन आर्य. This is why I love the live discussions. No, but God Empire, you are this. We need to revive. Sentence is a bit futile because there's no we in this particular context, because we are not an united body that we can demand to somebody that, see, hello sir, we must revive this, because this we sentence has no further trajectory other than mentioning it in a comment section. I know I'm sounding rude, but I am saying this with absolutely no anger or frustration in my heart, because I have come to this realization, and I've said this to many other people as well, whom I've seen make this well-meaning mistake. This we need to revive basic dharma, Vedic dharma. That sentence has no meaning unless it's on an individual level. That yes, I will revive basic Vedic dharma. I will follow Vedic dharmic principles in my personal life. Other than that, there's no we here. When will Mysterious Sociologist come in the stream? I think he has fixed his laptop. We will have to talk about it. Are you tending to be an atheist? Not anymore. I have been all my life. Although I used to talk to an imaginary god all the while. Something like Anushilan Samiti can do it. In what way? Hypothetical Anushilan Samiti who goes door to door explaining to people that their Vedic dharma must be followed every day. How is that going to happen? Face reveal him. No, his academic career will be over. It has been so long, Mr. Sociologist. Yeah. Although we talk almost every day, it's just his laptop that he screwed up. So how did our religion evolve from worshipping nature in all? Bro, good question. I'm not even completing the question. Before that, I want to answer. We will have to get through the book called Elementary Forms of Religious Life by Emil Durkheim someday from our live streams, our membership live streams, which there should be more audiences of and more live streams of. So anyway, how did our religion evolve from worshipping nature in early Vedic dharma, and then we came so far up to the realization of Brahma and the ultimate reality, and then again we started idol worship. I have no problem with idol worship. I am absolutely in favor of idol worship if you believe in God to begin with, because you need a visual cue to connect with the energy of whatever God you are approaching or worshipping or praying to. How does that happen without visual cues? The ultimate goal is to not need visual cues. It's a skill you develop. Just because asking 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 is not an ideal question in masters or PhD levels does not mean the guy in nursery does not practice the maths for 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 every day. That's the way he improves his skill. He cannot progress without visual cues. You cannot have visual cues without idols. Even if you close your eyes and you are imagining random shit, what do you look at when you close your eyes? Just the darkness inside your eyelids? Is that what you are thinking about? Is that what you are supposed to think about? Just the biological, anatomical aspect of the backside of your eyelids? Is that what spirituality is supposed to be about? No, you are supposed to be contemplating about things, and you are definitely going to end up visualizing something or some things when you start contemplating about something or a concept. What's the thing that's going to come to your eyesight? That thing for you at that moment is the idol. So whether you reject idol for idol worship's sake or for rejection's sake, go ahead. You are going to do that in some other way inside your eyes. You cannot have this. You cannot do this without visual cues. Iscon food is really hygienic, 100% agreed. What is the best argument in favor of Bali Pratha? It's a religious realm issue. It's an ecclesiastical realm issue. So it can ideally have only ecclesiastical arguments. So it's my religious belief, and the law says that I can pursue my religious beliefs unless it harms another human being. So it's allowed. Isn't that how saints came up with solutions? In which way? I discussed too many things. Please remind me, Rishabh. But any idol, don't you need any criteria, because people can imagine negative people things as God. In order to make people avoid imagine negative people and random things as God, that's why gods and texts and specific sects and knowledge system processes exist in Hinduism. You can't have it all the way around. You can't bypass every achara of Hinduism, make up your own god, then bother about what if I end up imagining negative people and things as God. So the safe bet therefore is to follow the precepts of Hinduism. But my personal suggestion is this, even though I'm less than a nobody in this topic to give advice to. I'm just saying what I'm realizing gradually, and I just have a hunch about that. If you are a believer and you don't know who your Ishtadevta is, let's say if you don't come from a proper religious family, I mean even religious in the sense of not just doing your once 5 times a day Nitya Puja by your mom and stuff. If you're genuinely spiritual yourself, you probably have an Ishtadevta already. So do converse with him, pray to him, worship him regularly. Do that. If you are of the more new age Hindutvadi bro kind of guy who's now suddenly getting curious about religion and stuff, then also my suggestion is find out who your Ishtadevta is. That is going to be a huge help. And if you are completely atheist or agnostic, I would just suggest do check out this concept. Do delve into this path just as a matter of adventure. Check out what this concept of finding out your Ishtadevta is like. See if you have fun. See if you just quench some of your philosophical curiosity at the very least. See whether you like it or not. You might end up having fun. That's why they don't claim. You could see gods gradually morph into what we call Hindu Dharma today. Yes. Here I am arguing to a Hindutwadi, not a leftist, in favor of Bali Pratha. I need here moral arguments in favor of Bali Pratha. The gods wanted, that's end of story. No religious authority has ever been able to argue that the mother goddess does not want Bali. So what can you do? It's up to your personal characteristics, obviously. The mother does not want an animal's Bali, as you must be knowing, obviously. She does not want an animal Bali from anyone and everyone. People with the sattvic kind of a characteristic trait and vibe are free to chop up watermelons and gingers, etc. Out of Judaism, Islam and Christianity, which one is the most sane? Right now, Judaism. That's my stance as Nirishwarwadi Astics. What is the stance? Our Vanguard bro Shrayan is here. My Hindu has nothing to do with my religious belief, but that's just my thought. Okay, let's have Shrayan here for a while. Shrayan, which topics do you want to get into? What are your thoughts on it?
The midday meal thing, the temple freedom thing, and also partly to the animal rights thing.
Okay, Sean, I would suggest start. My request is start with the temple freedom thing, because we have not touched upon that at all in our JU live stream as well, and in this one as well.
Okay.
So start with that.
Yeah, sure. Now look, as I had said, and in fact in our private discussions as well, I had always mentioned this, that I am completely a proponent of temple freedom. Secondly, even if there is a particular case that has taken place whereby purported theft has happened, the theft is not of government money. It is of public money, and therefore it's the breach of public trust. Now, when there is a breach of public trust by a private company or a private institution, would you go about shutting down the private institution, or would you as a state play the necessary part you need to play in investigating what went wrong. Every time, if a private bank has, let's say, a scenario where some sort of wrongdoing malpractices occurred, does the state go about taking it up completely, go about nationalizing it? Is that what you're suggesting? Because if that is what you're suggesting, then every single problem that arises also lies upon the state. The accountability belongs to the state. So I would request everyone to not conflate a single incident with the greater principle. Secondly, if the Tamil Nadu government, out of all people who are not even a proponent of, let's say, Hindutva, can go on to say that we are not going to use temple funds in causes which do not belong to the Hindu community, that is the bare minimum we can expect government which, I mean, at least suggests that they're the post bearers of Hindutva. So how difficult is it for you to show a white paper, to show an audit of where exactly did you spend the funds that were being given to the temple that you took as tax?
Srayan,
If you are in, hmm,
Srayan, please do not move away from these points. But I have just one question, and then you please do come back to these points. My question is,
yeah, yeah.
your fundamental premise being that BJP is in fact the torchbearers or self-proclaimed flag bearers of Hindutva. Is that today a liability and an accusation against BJP? Isn't it almost? Because would they claim it themselves? Do they have anything to show for it in the last 10 years? In the at least 5 years, 7 years? Do they even claim
That's
it?
the problem. No, they have been claiming it. In fact, it's only curious that the higher order or the high command of the BJP has been consistently moving themselves away from this claim, but the lower ranks has been pushing it even more aggressively. More so of the newcomers, because they have always felt that the only thing that is making the BJP run is Hindu. So it is only obvious that now that they have come to the BJP, they have to show themselves to be more radicals than the originals to prove their point. Now, I do not believe that that is the only reason BJP sustains. Firstly, BJP sustains majorly because of the inefficiency of the complete lacklusterness and ground disconnect of the opposition. That is number one. Secondly, I do believe that there is an anti-incumbency building. Now, anytime somebody comes up and says that they keep on winning the state elections, so let's not get into or buy all these rumors. Now, firstly, the exact people who make these points are also the same people who go on to say that no, Indian electorate is very intelligent. They can differentiate between state elections and national elections. So how can you be saying both of the things at the same time? Do
How
you
did
think
this
these
truism
people?
come about? I have seen this come about as if it's a given only in the last 2 years. What horseshit is this? Indian
This came
electorate is not that
from
intelligent. When did this came from? Where did this come from? Yeah, go ahead,
this
Ritwik.
came from you know who, they who must not be named.
Well, communists are atheists after all. So once again, what Aveda said in the previous live stream, so you can agree, but for different purposes. So anyway, I will not go on to it further. But again, if the Indian electorate was that intelligent, well, I do agree that they are not dumb in the sense that they do recognize what is their personal benefit. The problem is all
Exactly.
our policies
Self-interest is
can.
servopadi.
Yes,
Individualistic
yes.
self-interest is servopadi and caste interest is servopadi.
Yeah, that they understand, because all our promises and policies designed for welfare eventually doesn't translate to that greater good on ground. So they have realized that those things are not going to work on. So they have to look after themselves, and that is probably the one lesson that every single member who is even a supporter of BJP has learned all these days. Otherwise, why do you think after 12 years of rule now the tribalism in terms of group interests are only increasing now and not decreasing? This is a time when the reasons for supporting the BJP should have been standardized, right? They are not getting standardized. They are now getting diversified into more loops of self-interest and selfish interests, not just self-interest, selfish interests. So it is not that they have actually found that magic formula which constitutes their vote base. Secondly, if you are one of those people as well who simply claim that oh 2024 में तो बीजेपी ने कम सीट पाया क्योंकि उन्होंने कास्ट लाइंस के अकॉर्डिंग ठीक सीट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नहीं किया। अरे भाई, कास्ट की वजह से अगर तुम्हारे कम वोट आए तो काहे का हिंदुत्व? So your Hindutva point did not stand, that means, which is also partly because you did not define what Hindutva is. You failed to decentralize it. You started and you kept on putting one archetype of a certain belief system into every single local system as well. So you extrapolated one system of faith in every other system of faith, pushing one notion about a certain Hinduism, which is basically the Abrahamization of Hinduism. That's exactly what you did. Now, if you are going to do that, how are you any different from the, let's say, evil intentions or the evil ideologies you tend to oppose? No, how?
Yeah, on the other issues as well. Finish your points on all the topics. Then
Yeah,
we will have
yeah, yeah.
Rutvik. Then we'll have Anand. Anand is cooking.
So the
We
other
have a
issues.
we have a voyeur camera view of Anand's kitchen for some reason.
Yeah. So as I was saying that in terms of temple freedom, well, if the government's claim is that no, we are your let's say spirit angels and we are going to take care of your institutions, because if we do not take care there will be scams, simply assure us that whatever taxes that you intend to take from us, or what according to the calculations you take from us, is being spent on the interest of our community. It should not be very difficult for you to show that much of financial accountability on your part with all the IAS and babus that you have. But again, they are the symbol of incompetency, so they are going to say the cite the same reason of logistics and get away from it. So exactly then what you have done. Secondly, I have always said that there needs to be an internal mechanism of grievance redressal amongst free temples as well. Because I'll tell you, I generally do not want to introduce the biases of my personal self whenever I talk about these issues. But I have been to, in my last trip as well, I was in Assam, all right, and I had been to some of the most famous temples over there, which are completely privately managed, and the state also doesn't take taxes from them. The pathetic management was so goddamn bad. You can go
But
in as a
Goa,
devotee and come back as being an atheist.
go private.
Alright.
Goa private temples are awesome.
Yeah, so then that basically means
By the way,
that at
Soyon.
certain places they are doing well.
By
In
the way,
other places
Soyon
they are not.
and
Yeah.
Soyon and everybody else in Goa, each and every temple is privately managed. There are no government-run temples in Goa.
Well, now let us also not, ignore the fact that not every state has the same culture. All right. If we are going to believe that we have one magical set of gold standards that is homogeneous throughout the country, that is not the case. Secondly, some temples are way more popular than other temples. So whenever you see that there are certain temples like Shakti Peeths and let's say Jyotirlings, which are extremely popular with the crowd management and logistic issues are higher, the private institutions completely fail to manage that as well. The recent most optimal example might be the way things are at Kedarnath. Now, any side of the aisle can basically use it to their advantage to cite that there are so many logistical problems. So, therefore, it has to be a mix and a hodgepodge like it has been always been. So, simply, if there is a proper grievance redressal mechanism within the community where there is proportionate representation from every organization which claims to talk of Hindu interests, then you simply at least have the legal authority. I would not say authority, the legal mechanism to put your case in front of the community at large and in front of the constitutional benches at large. There has to be some amount of backing an individual needs to put their case when they're fighting against the system, which is, let's say, taking care of a temple, which is huge. They have lots of money and resources. You cannot, on an individual basis, compete with the resources. So I'm saying use the resources of the community to maintain accountability in the actions of the community. If you are claiming that these temples are your property as a community, then you cannot only look at one aspect of it and completely leave the other aspect of it. It is like saying कि खाना बनाना था, dinner का तो सोच लिया, lunch का भूल ही गए, dinner इतना अच्छा बना दिया. Doesn't work that way, ना? That is my points on the temple issue. So at least there should be proportionate representation from different organizations and one body which is at least promising you to give some amount of legal aid or to present your case in front of a larger crowd with the help of lawyers and advocates, so that if there is a whistleblower, because let's be frank, even in the Ram Mandir case, don't you think there must have been certain whistleblowers who would have disclosed things? They only did not because they were scared of the repercussions. I am sure they would be. So what are you offering these people? Your this fellow Champat Rai, who basically resigned on the grounds of accountability, who was he? He was nobody figure. He was a big figure of the ecosystem. Anybody who would want to go up against him and make any allegations. I am not going into the merits of whether he is the proclaimed criminal or not. Investigations are on and it will be established, or probably it will never be established. That's not the point. But if you are an individual who is, let's say, a temple karta, or someone who works in the temple in the capacity of a priest or even a caretaker, would you have the guts, would you have the necessary courage to be a whistleblower of any kind of malfunctioning happening in a temple when the person who is in the head of accountability is the person of such a stature? Is my question.
Okay, now the Iscon egg debate. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
And then we'll move on to Rutvik.
And as just one more point with the temple thing. So as I have said, as I have previously mentioned in our private discussions as well, I do believe that there needs to be an institution which would look after the accountability, because simply one cannot say that ये तो temple था, ये अब हमारा पर्पस सॉल्व नहीं कर रही, इसलिए इस टेम्पल को छोड़ देते हैं. फर्स्टली दैट्स नॉट हाउ हिंदुइज्म वर्क्स. योर आस्था इज लिंक्ड टू अ पर्टिकुलर deity. That is why we believe in the concept of prana pratishtha. That is why we believe that a deity is living. You cannot just ghost a temple just because, according to free market capitalism, that temple is not serving your purposes. What about the funds you have already given to the temple? Secondly, if you're going to ghost every single temple, where do you think is this infinite source of land where you can erect new temples every single day? Temple goes corrupt. तुम्हारे तो शनि मंदिर को मेंटेन करने जितने पैसे है नहीं, तुम अगर हर टेम्पल जो कि मिसबिहेव कर रहा है उसको छोड़ के दूसरे टेम्पल ही जाओगे, तो तुम्हारे घर का नियरेस्ट टेम्पल वुड बी 50 किलोमीटर्स अवे. आर यू गोइंग टू टेक दैट कॉस्ट ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इनटू योर अकाउंट? You are not. So clearly come up with a thing that is practical and that is workable. You cannot simply go on ghosting everything that doesn't work. Then where is the portion of fixing? Nowhere. How can a discourse go on like this? This is exactly the weaknesses, the weak spots that the government would use against you. Na? Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Delhi BJP thinks killing dogs is a great way to further your political career, because they have run out of Hindutva issues.
They have run out of Hindutva issues. It's not that they have run out of Hindutva issues. They have realized that except for the top few people who have gotten certain things done, the other achievements of BJP in terms of being a Hindutva ideologue or a Hindutva mentor or a Hindutva flag bearer is diddly squat. That's the problem. After 15 years, and particularly after people like, let's say, Sadhguru, Jesai Deepak, and all these individuals have come forward to actually take the discourse further into a bit more nuanced discussion, these people have realized that they are nowhere to be seen because they cannot simply justify their own causes now. That is the problem. And that is exactly the thing. The further the discussion will go, people will realize more and more between blank ideologies and actionable consequences. It will be entrenched in the discourse and people will start asking more questions. And that is good for us in the long run, because people will be asking these questions to the opposition as well. And sooner or later, they will have to realize that it becomes a competitiveness where who can be a greater Hindu would be the major discourse of our country. And thereby, the things will go further from there. Now, coming to the Iscon Act debate, I feel it's bizarre. Look, my first and foremost point is, if you came up with the midday meal scheme, what was the very basis of introducing such a scheme? The very basis was that students, rather children in that particular age group, are suffering from some kind of malnourishment. If they are suffering from some kind of malnourishment, what is the confounding variable that they are in the greatest dearth of? What is that macronutrient that there is suffering the most of? It is protein, it's not carbs, right? In fact, in India, it is chronic that protein deficiency tends to be overcompensated magically by carbohydrates. Nobody knows how. Some people have this notion.
Do midday meals exist so that they can be attracted to come to schools, or do they get midday meals so that their protein requirements are met?
By simply speaking, what do you think would excite a child, an egg or dal without lahasun and pyaz?
Is that the government's concern? What excites a child? Do you Google stuff how to excite a 5-year-old, and do you not go to jail for that?
Certainly, a sattvic thali without pyaz and lahasun and rajma is not going to excite a Bengali child. At least that's not what my senses tell. If you are going to make a plate look colorful and that is how you intend to go about this, why not then keep simply a fruit salad?
Sorry.
मैं तो
Son,
चाहूंगा हर एक बच्चे को इतना अपीलिंग खाना मिले, उनको एवोकाडो सलाद के साथ एग मिले. दैट इज नॉट
wow,
पॉसिबल
Modi
ना.
ji, wow. Yeah, Son, do come back with the point of whether it's the state's lookout or not to give
No,
attractive
it is the
food
state's lookout.
to
See,
impoverished children.
the
I just want
entire
to
point is,
wait. I'll just
if you are going to,
point out one thing to the audience here because I recently went to the Chinmay Mission Ashram, Chinmay Vibhuti Ashram in Pune. There, since so many kids are there all the time, they have their own residential schools. Their rich disciples have their own kids all the time hanging around there. They are doing their ashram retreats. So one thing they maintain is make their food really colorful, and they have colorful pappers in every meal so that the kids are interested in that food. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, do that. See, I have absolutely no qualms with aesthetics. The problem is if you are introducing something like a midday meal scheme and it is in completely your jurisdiction as to what it should be, get a problem solved at least. You are spending all these amounts of money to overload the children with some form of carbs which simply they can get from their ration card. चावल तो वहां से भी मुफ्त मिलते हैं. Do you think any of these people who have ration cards and get subsidized chawals from the government would be suffering from lack of carbohydrates by any chance at their houses? If anything, बच्चों को 4 मुट्ठी चावल हर मील में ठुसाया ही जाता है. That's the compulsory norm of our country and not state. So that is not the confounding variable. Get over with it. Secondly, if it comes to the cost, question of cost, simply my idea of it is cut down the items that you are proposing to deliver in the meal, replace it with the eggs. If you think Iscon should not be doing it, which I believe Iscon or any of its branches like the Akshay Patra Foundation, fine, get a different tender. दो boiled eggs एक स्कूल क्या सर्व नहीं कर सकता अलग से? Because look, even with vegetarian food, I do not say that vegetarian food is absolutely rubbish. It does not have necessary protein at all. The problem is we have all have a fair idea of what a midday meal looks like. क्वांटिटी हमें पता है मिड डे मील का क्या होता है. वहां पे जितना दिया जाएगा that is not sufficient. If you are well enough, you can definitely get the sufficient amount of protein from vegetarian food as well. But then it is a question of trade-off. Now, it is a question of how much you can give in whatever least amount is possible. And don't, for goddamn sake, cite this bullshit reason कि हरियाणवियों को देखो वो तो कितने तगड़े हैं. भाई मेरे बाप का एक तबेला होता जहां से I would have infinite source of दूध and ghee and dahi, that would not have been a concern for me. Secondly, if these people are from let's say, let's get into the question of nutrition. I believe for that matter कि आज जो ये लोग कह रहे हैं कि प्रोटीन नहीं है, प्रोटीन छीनिया जा रहा है, the protein was chronically low even previously. Speaking of imposition, something which I mentioned today as well, do you know that 2 days of the week when the CPIM used to distribute eggs, it was fucking Tuesday and Thursday. The 2 of the days of the week when the traditional Hindu prefers to opt for vegetarianism. So it was their point that they are going to impose something that would categorically break down your value systems to impose another value system. तो आज तो ये लोग ये चोदमपट्टी ना ही करे, हमारे ऊपर imposition हो रहा है. Secondly, which way does the constriction flow? Is it that a non-vegetarian guy cannot have vegetarian food, or is it a vegetarian guy cannot have non-vegetarian food? तो फिर तुम्हारे इतने ही कंसर्न्स है जो ट्रेडिशनली वेजिटेरियन है, तुम तो उनके लिए टोफू का इंतजाम करो भाई. तुम करोगे तो नहीं. क्यों नहीं करोगे? क्योंकि यू कैन नॉट अफोर्ड दैट. So once again, it is a question of affordability. It is not a question of dietary preferences. Understand, for some reason, the government feels that outsourcing the entire thing to Iscon and simply paying them, and they can manage the accountability, finances, and logistics. That's fine. But it does not meet the protein requirements, especially in the servings that are being given in a midday meal. Even if you have paneer, 4 blocks of paneer does not constitute 8 grams of protein. Sorry, get your facts right. Secondly, why is it only egg and nothing
in the
else?
long run? In the long run, for as second order, third order consequences, when these people grow up to be idiots and weaker because of having a sattvic diet, that cost is going to come down on taxpayers again, because they are going to be prone to sickness more. They are going to be stupider.
Exactly.
They are going to require more freebies because they are not going to get enough employment. They are not going to get richer.
Yeah, please go and read some papers and see which are the fundamental years where the brain grows the most. What is the amount of protein it needs for that? Not just protein, other micronutrients, but micronutrients तो अमीर लोगों के डाइट में भी आजकल नहीं है, except if you're Nita Ambani are drinking sparkling water all day, तो उसको छोड़ देते हैं. traditionally, let's say this one tin of becadexamine tablets, which is a multivitamin, costs 40 rupees in most places, which has around 30 tablets, so one per day for 30 students of a class. वो भी तुम afford नहीं करोगे, that should be done. Secondly, what is this system? I'm completely, perplexed as to why they digress from BJP MLAs roaming around with machi in their hand to show how much of a Bengali they are, to completely go from omitting eggs. Even from a simple optics and messaging point of view, is this sane or consistent? No, it is not. Thirdly, if protein is not that much of an issue, भाई कुछ दिनों पहले तुम्हारे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने निकाला है एक गवर्नमेंट बेस्ड वे प्रोटीन ब्रांड, ठीक है? They came up with that where I guess 1 kg of whey protein with 30 servings per scoop gives you 24 grams of protein that costs 1500 rupees, which traditionally from any other brand would cost around 2200 to 2300 rupees. So then what is your purpose of bringing that out? That means you acknowledge there is a chronic protein deficiency. And this is not something that is there from today. It has been from times immemorial, which is why in the 1950s, the protein deficiency, the malnourishment was so damn chronic, they had to actually import tilapia into our waterways. Are people aware that tilapia it's not a traditional Bengali fish? It was brought from outside because that one fish, which had the highest amount of protein, had it bred despite pollution in all sorts of bizarre conditions. So you can simply leave it in the ponds and it would grow out of proportion. This was, by the way, during the times of Bidhan Chandra Roy, when he was also very concerned about malnourishment. And so the FICRI had brought it and actually introduced in the ponds. After that, it grew so out of proportion and started becoming an invasive species, then it had to be controlled. But that is how you went about solving half of your problems. So, 50 साल या 70 साल बाद, you are back with the same problem. मतलब 70 साल में पूरा गोल घूम के तुम वापस वही आ गए. Imagine the condition. Secondly, not secondly, I guess this is the fourth or fifth point, I do not know. This would be one of the last points. If you are talking about people becoming protein deficient for the lack of 2 eggs, well, 2 eggs hardly give you 8 to 9 grams of protein in India. All right. It doesn't give you the 12-gram promised protein. Traditionally, if you see any website, they will tell you the egg white contains 4 grams and the yolk contains 2 grams. That is not how things are in India. And the sizes are also not standardized. Now, why eggs? Why not anything? I would have been very happy if you would have gone about giving half a scoop of whey protein to maintain your vegetarianism to students, and that would have solved your purposes. But I have calculated that would be 5 times your midday meal budget. Secondly, हमारे तो इतने मतलब honest लोग हैं, आप भेजोगे उनको.
Hold your thoughts. That's a very good idea, and I think we must pitch it someday to relevant people, because what you are taking into account is the existing price of whey protein powders. But if government acquires them in bulk, that price goes down for the government itself as the buyer.
Yes, I believe so, and I have actually done the calculation. I can just show you give you the calculations orally. It's in my mind. Just try to match it up. So apparently 1500 rupees, 1 kg of whey protein per scoop has 24 grams of protein. So that would be 24 grams. A traditional child needs 12 grams because that would be equivalent to 2 eggs, right? So one child would have 60 servings from that one container. On an average, there are 220 working days in a school. Let's say only 4 of the 5 days you are giving that protein to the children. So that would bring down the amount to somewhere around 170. Because chuttiya hoti hai, vagera, vagera, vagera. So on 4 days a week, if you count and divide it by 60, it is traditionally for an entire year, a child would need 3 containers of whey protein to get the daily requirement 4 days a week compared to the 2 days a week. उस हिसाब से अगर हम देखें, if one child needs 3 containers, then it would be the annual budget of one child would be 4,500 rupees. ठीक है?
Shravan, you need to make a presentation about this and give it to me, okay?
I can definitely do that. And the second idea is I calculated it for eggs as well. For eggs, if you are going to serve them eggs 3 days a week for 2 eggs each, it would be somewhere around 356 crore rupees. तो भाई तुमने इतने सारे फालतू जगहों में पैसे लगा दिए, which you cannot actually meet up those expectations. Divert some of it here, na, because it is going to solve your generational problem. Do it, get it done, for God's sake.
And
if you
whey
think
protein
that
in midday meal diets, whey protein in midday meals diet in midday meal diets would be a sea change in their own their lineage trajectory will be in a completely different direction if they get this
Yes,
in midday meals.
because it has the complete amino acid profiles. It
Yeah.
gives you pure protein. If you get the raw protein, which is unflavored, the bioavailability is much higher than for eggs. All right.
Hmm.
So now, if you're going to procure it in a subsidized fashion, please go about doing it, for God's sake. That is the second point. So I still think you do not have any replacement for eggs. Now whey protein का problem एक यही है कि हमारे तो इतने honest लोग हैं, आप स्कूलों में whey protein भेजेंगे, वो खुद के लिए चुरा के वहाँ पे आटा डाल देंगे, आपको पता नहीं चलेगा.
See, why I'm excited about this is because that stealing can be done by anybody anyway, whatever the item, not just eggs. But this is a vegetarian thing, so Akshay Patra themselves can be requested to add just whey protein in their food. So that's a huge win.
Yeah, if
It's a
they
win-win.
increase their budget of it, definitely they can do. Because I checked that the beneficiaries of midday meal scheme in West Bengal is 1.16 crores. That is nearly 1/10 of your population. If you can bring 1/10 of your body population out of malnourishment, that will have a huge second and third order effect on your coming generations. Get it done. And in terms of eggs, obviously, what the professor pointed out is very pertinent. It gives you choline, it gives you essential fats, which is very important for your testosterone. If you do not take healthy fats and if you only take carbs, fat is something that actually helps testosterone synthesize in your body. Without that, your bone development stops, your brain development stops or gets stunted, and you come out to be, let's say, a degenerate. Those are the 2 points.
And then
now, if people continue,
end up becoming a gunda for CPIM, Trinamool, or trade unions, because that's what your
Yeah,
brains will allow you to think about.
Exactly, you become a liability for all the things that our prime minister said कि हमारा तो 150 करोड़ का problem नहीं solution है. No, you are not a solution. You are a budding liability. Let's say, put it at best way. Okay, now we continue. I'll come back in a while.
No,
All
sorry,
right,
come
I'll
back
just
later.
get inside
Yeah,
my house.
Yeah,
Ah.
let other people continue. Yeah, Rudvik, go ahead.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess the whey protein point is excellent. Actually, as one of the things I wanted to say as well. Now the thing is, I want to pivot to like they say that vegetarian diet doesn't have protein and all. First of all, that's not really true. I'm 6'1", and I'm fairly strong. Okay, if the fat part is quite important, helps my brain development, all that. But I think there is more to this than meets the eye in terms of the fact that I question the lab tests and the results themselves purely because what is the method to determine the macro and micronutrient content of lobia, rajma, millets, etc. First thing. So that's my first question is that I want to see the clear metrics, what they've used to test, and how is it that they know which is good, which is not, what is bioabsorbable, what is not. If they've tested on rats, if they've not tested, if they've tested on animals, what the data is quite important. First thing. Second thing is that the quality of meat and farm feed. Somebody was talking about mutton being not corrupted or something like that, milk not being. But Dada already mentioned about eggs and the farm feed going to the animals is quite.
There is the worst thing you can consume, and that's the mainstay of Akshay Patra meals. That's a huge problem.
Yeah,
but it's
exactly.
hygiene.
No, Akshay Patra meals, they had cake, man. Like, why would you give your kids diabetes? Like, they have sugars. I don't get it. It's the biggest drug known to man. Like, sugars, I'm diabetic because I was like, I couldn't control myself and I binged on 1 kilo of chocolates in less than a month. Like
people, they don't know how addictive it is. If they are busy researching the medicinal value of Gomutra and Gobar, how will they know these updates in medical science? They don't know that sugar is completely addictive like cocaine.
Wahi to. But no, even okay, to be fair to the Gomutra and this one, it's not, again, like that part we can set aside. But like, I get your point completely, mental. But anyways, going back to what was being said, why don't you, because over here in hostels, when I finished university 4 years ago, it was split into veg and non-veg catering, and you had sort of bits and done for each. But the British public is ruining themselves because I live in the UK. They're ruining themselves by having compulsory fried food in the diet. Like, they have fried food for everything, and they have sweet for everything. Like, they're killing themselves, and they drink like it's no tomorrow. So, no, my point is this. My point is not that. My point is this. If you're putting the wrong food into your diet, first of all, that's bad. But so how can you fix it? why don't you have a jhatka meat caterer like Akshay Patra equivalent for the non-veg people, and for the veg people you have tell that to me when I was younger. But, and then the Akshay Patra equivalent already we have for the vegetarians. But what I don't know where Akshay Patra is lacking, whether they're diluting their dal that much that they don't, kids eat water instead of dal, like drink water instead of actually eating dal and ghee, like wo sab nahi hai. Piyaz and lasan is actually very important in the tadka for certain things. Not for everything, but for certain things. Ingua, so that's in Telugu. So kya bolte usko? Hing ka tadka, if you put into your chutneys and your dals, that completes your dal. Dal is incomplete without the tadka, so you have to have the tadka. But they omit it in the midday meal. It's such a stupid thing to do, but they omit it. Like, I'm sure they don't have tadka in the midday meal. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's because it's their religious belief. They are that kind of a Vaishnavite. So I'm not complaining about their Vaishnavism. I'm just saying why is Shubhendu asking Vaishnavism to be imposed upon these kids?
You shouldn't be doing that. That's my point. I'm with you on that. You shouldn't be doing that. So for example, in Telugu, in Andhra, like, how did Krishna Deva Raya fight so many wars and win? He didn't have like skinny people, and he had vegetarians and multiple people in his army, right? It comes down to things like horse gram. These are why we'd go for soy when we have things ulavalo, we call it ulavacharu. You may have come across in Andhra or in Karnataka. Andhra is nodding. I'm saying Anand is nodding, so I think he knows. Why aren't you having horse gram? Why aren't you having the millets? Get back to the millet thing and so on and so forth. Make it national level, man. Millets also restore your crop cycle. The rice is a gas guzzling crop.
Millets are awesome. Millets is the best discovery in Indian agriculture.
Yeah, then that was thousands of years ago, no?
Millet is not a discovery. We are the ones who had millet. We took white rice from other people like idiots.
So no, that's my point. So getting us used to millets again and going away from the syndrome of white class is upper class, only by prasadam for syndrome, I call it. Get out of that shit, bro. Like that's not it. The other thing is hung curd is actually something our grandparents used to eat. I'm going back to not even 70 years ago. In a traditional village, hung curd is highly protein dense. And okay, if you're so insistent on bringing soy, why not bring edamame for vegetarians? Edamame has very high, very close to egg in terms of protein per 100 grams. Right? If you're going soy, why don't you do this? So that's kind of what I wanted to say on the diet. All in all, my point, I want to summarize that particular point by saying that you need a jhatka supplied in meat industry that supplies to midday meals for all the people who are non-vegetarian, and for the vegetarian folks, Akshay Patra either needs to up their game, or there needs to be another sort of matham or some other organization that comes in and that makes this food for the people. That's one of the things I wanted to say. The second thing is the temple corruption. Unfortunately, what can we say? Like, it's criminal. And now we'll have caste conscious people saying all sorts of, Brahmins are robbing, these people are not robbing, you should, OBC person doing this, ye, wo, gera, falana, dimkana. Like, that is so, it's going to be so deteriorating the discussion, it's pathetic. But like, at this point, call it brunch. That's the point. Kar lo. Tofu, I'm against tofu as well, but that's because I would prefer it to be largely Indian synthesized Indian local food. Your gut bacteria development is very important, right? Like, I would say make it from the land. That's all my point is. And add green leafy vegetables a lot. Methi, chukkakura is thing in gongura, so on and so forth. What I'm point is there should be local varieties in Bengal and other states as well. Why not?
Bro, green leafy vegetables without onions and lasun. Holy shit. Oh my god.
No, so in Andhra, I'm sure Anand would know this. In South Indian dal, largely speaking, in the below AP and southwards, you don't have onion. You do not have onion at all in the dal. Only Telangana I shall exclude from this conversation, Hyderabad, Karnataka, but I'm talking about south from that. You do not have any ounce of onion in it. You have hing, you have asafoetida tadka, and that's it. And the taste is mind-blowing. Like, I'm telling you, ghee, mix and have with mango pickle or like something like that, S tier taste. You guys are really missing out. Huh? I'm serious on that. Like the mustard seeds and all, you have to have it. No, and going back to that, like it's
And few other spices, few other like
spices, yeah, tamarind.
low common, like I don't know what those are called. It is it's like a small berry. They dry it. It gets very dry.
Gooseberry, amla.
No, it's gooseberry. Even smaller. It's black color. Small berry. They will fry. It grows off the plant with branches.
I don't know. Then I forgot the name. Yeah.
They flavor food with the random kinds of small berries. Then there's one with I think even in North India they use, but they don't use it as often. It looks like a triangle, small seed that they'll fry it in their curries and stuff. So that is another thing they use.
But I had that in when I went to Manali, or was it MP? One of the places when Rajasthan. I've had it there. Sorry, I was going back to the temple point. Corruption is obviously an issue. There's no doubt in that with self-managed. Does it mean we don't have self-managed institutions? No. Now let's come to the next. Everybody agrees, I would hope, that you want to have a self-managed institution. Fair to say? At least here. Now, has this given ammunition to the detractors? Yes, absolutely. It has. There's no denying that. And but does that mean you can't continue to campaign? Yeah, because the point is that when you take something into it's like a overprotective parent raising a kid who has no agency on their own. The kid is happy failing simply because the kid will eventually accept that they've done it of their own accord and not somebody else controlling them like a puppeteer. The same thing with the temple situation. You need to be accountable for your own actions, because in the process of managing a temple and all, you will come to realize that there are so many complexities in managing a large organization, as good as running a company, is that you are accountable for your own actions. So it creates that disseminated accountability in the system. Secondly, with temples, then you'll start bringing back the not just the religion only location, sanctum sanctorum of the temple. You're bringing back, I go to vibe in the temple, like, or try to like talk to girls to pick them up, that sort of thing. That sort of stuff used to happen. I'm not my point is, once you bring these things back, casual and community-based conversations will happen, and it trickles down from different generations, and the ideas get put forward in common communities, trusts who run it. Now, coming to the point of why is it that these corruptions continue, is probably because one of the things is, I call it like the respect the elders syndrome. Everything is about, do not question the elders, respect the elders, respect the authorities. Hi, Bhagwan, maine kya kiya to tell them ki they have done something wrong. Like, they don't want these ego. Then you're massaging their ego even more, and they come to that ego becomes so overblown that they don't recognize when they're wrong. And when they're wrong, it's a classic narcissistic behavior that is enabled. So this respect the elders syndrome is a kind of blasphemy that has crept into the society, which is bad. Now, somebody mentioned in the comments about we should become even more Abrahamic. I only agree in the sense that we should start playing things strategically, not in terms of what's the thing? Commies mindset ideology has not left from Bengalis who have beaten.
No, you don't have to check out the comments. The comment on the screen is only for the audience. You ignore it.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So I lost my train of thought. Okay. Yeah. So in terms of the egos, right? Okay. What I was trying to get at also is that, because the only way to cull the ego is you need to be strategic in terms of, it starts with the house. You need to train your elders in the family that they are perhaps looking at things the wrong way. That it has to start from the house. Like, I don't know how else to say it. You condition the people around you. And if it requires to get some, as the kids put it, big dick energy, so be it. Like, why don't you do that? Like, that's first thing. The second thing is, in terms of, again, the CSK Vanguard will handle the policy part, I would hope. So that part should be good, I hope. But apart from that, like, if this blasphemy of the elders is clearly the biggest problem in this matham mismanagement, temple mismanagement situation. And just because it is old doesn't mean it's good, but that also means just because it's new doesn't mean it's applicable. Like, you got to understand that when you approach something from a problem solving point of view, it has to go from point to point. Like, For example, I'm not going to go with an angle grinder and carve the murti of a god or something like that, right? It's like there's certain tools and certain situations for creating certain shapes and certain geometries. Same thing is applicable to this analogy I've given here, which is that you don't want to have, what's the way to put it? You don't want to have people who are tackling engineering of temple kshetras and things by cutting down all the trees and making concrete roads and not thinking about the planning and the people management of the situation. That also being said, no, you don't want to have thorns and gravel and pokey crocodiles walking across the road, Florida style, on the way to the same temple. So this mentality has to go that this is what I guess people are meaning when they say Indian doesn't have brain development and Kushal Mehra says 70 IQ points we have and all that stuff. It's just because the people don't take it step by step. And I guess the other thing people miss is when they start taking simple things step by step, they automatically develop their brain as they go along step by step. It's quite important to do so. So that's what I wanted to add to that. Corruption does start by changing the intelligence of the population and the ability to think around you. But I had mentioned a point about the reference itself being wrong on the chat, which is how to put it. Currently, we are debating suboptimal solutions because we do not even have a good control group. In a scientific experiment, you usually have a control group that you want to change a couple of parameters to see how it better performs. Currently, we don't even have that for various issues. I can't exactly remember what it was that I mentioned on the chat, but if you could circle back to it, you'll find it. I think it was, but yeah, that was my, I'll just quickly check that as well. The control group example was, it's Anand talking about you can't take away the diversity of nutrients by replacing it with just eggs. This is not a carb versus protein argument. This is a black and white fallacy. I agree. And simply because if people are ignoring the fact that Iscon meals may not have fiber in it, like why would you omit fiber from a carb heavy diet to dull the sugar spike? You know what I mean? Like guava, not just apples, okay? Like just there's high fiber fruits come from different locations. It is not be all and all apple. That decoloniality of the mind in terms of the food, where you come from should be the food you eat kind of a thing has to go. As in, like, it has to become this instead of apple a day keeps the doctor away. Words like let me go and have some matcha instead of chai. You know, that the shit like that. It's that kind of mentality I dislike, and it is not productive to uplifting not just the midday meals but everybody else and all of us becoming healthier, better, more well-rounded individuals, and also living longer and not having pot bellies at the age of 40 or whatever. Yours is a lifestyle you mentioned, right? So I guess along with that, the other thing, I think that largely sums my point, because the nutrients comes from everything. The tadka, ranging from the way you prepare it to the way you preserve it, nutrient, micro and macronutrient combination is everything. So that's all of this must be considered somehow. And if Akshay Patra is not doing it, you shouldn't be supporting them just because they satisfy the hygiene criteria. That's kind of what I want to add to that.
Rudvik, in the end, realistically, feasibly speaking, the debate is not between carbs and proteins. The debate is between whether it's better than the previous stuff that Bengali government
it is better. No? Unfortunately, it's better.
Do we need to try to see if we can afford even better than this or not?
Yes.
Should we even look for it, and can we even afford it?
Yes.
That's the entire debate.
Yes, and also yes, simply because as Shaya mentioned, I think they were putting 360 for 500, 700, these sort of crores into very, very nonsensical schemes. Whereas if you invest it in the human capital, as AIM puts it, you're going to get massive results. And what you mentioned, which is you're going to have a whole generation that is not genetically messed up. You're repairing your gene pool, you're repairing your soil, you're doing everything in parallel. That's surely, it's a yes.
We will be reversing entire colonization and famine-infested stunting that we have had. We will fix that in 2 generations if we feed whey protein
also, famines lead to growth stunts in subsequent generations. No, be successful malnutrition in that. So Anand, I'll let you speak once this I've come to that, if that's okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So that's that. The temple corruption thing. The other thing I wanted to mention is, since we are managing our own spaces, that is the least that we are. The baseline of the conversation has to be that we are all managing our own spaces. The question then comes is, how do you handle the corruption aspect of it? Only outsource law and order to the state, but not everything. Have your internal quote unquote security force on a retainer, and they should be the one that assemble the prima facie evidence and prevents the let's call it tampering of the evidence for such cases. The problem with these trusts and these systems and all is you have a select bunch of echo chambers that take over the space, and because of that they prevent you from getting the key evidence that implicates them in these cases. So law and order can't, even if people will then question the fact that law and order is coming in and doing blah 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 blah, you're tampering the space, you're stepping into the space of God and all that sort of shit, when it should be that they are taking the evidence, prosecuting immediately, dafa'ifying them, and the new set of management comes and tries to fix things. So this sort of stuff has to happen. But until then, like to be able to have the private security first, to be able to have the private, the community itself thinks up, has a upgraded level of thinking when they're in that space, you need it to be self-managed. Until then, kuch nahi hoga. That was what I wanted to say with that. What was the other? There was another important point about the debate here. Animal cruelty. Oh my god. So I don't understand how people are so behremi say they're killing, beheading dogs and all that. That makes no sense to me. Like, I repost a lot of things Dada puts on Twitter, and it's just baffling. And like if you're violent to dogs, and Dada, as you mentioned, you're following your religion in theoretical only. You're not like, you're reading theoretically, but you're not implementing it practically. Then what's the point? So again, I
was pointing out to someone in a comment section in one of my community posts criticizing Delhi BJP. Someone was saying, what has this got to do with Delhi or BJP? I pointed out that this entire thing was first started. This movement was started by Vijay Goyal of Delhi BJP. And then I pointed out that...
that's why you're saying Vijay Goyal's a dream, Vijay Goyal, this dream, that dream. I never understood it. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah. And he proudly says that the courts only followed suit. I was the one who built up this hype against dogs. The problem is that his actions have normalized and sensitized people to this. Animal cruelty has forever existed, just like any other heinous crime. So, but whether it has increased right now or not, and the news items do tell us that it has recently increased, and it's completely normalized because the central government's party in one state started it, and for some reason, a lot of BJP-leaning influencers also jumped on the bandwagon, and they decided that yes, we have to fix this problem out of the blue right now. And our Sanatan economist has repeatedly said that random stray dogs are inflicted into random neighborhoods by the deep state so that it breaks apart the society, etc. So all of that kind of arguments have solidified in the minds of people who would not have done cruelties themselves that it's kind of fine if I do. And people who would have been horrified, they are also kind of going along with it that yes, I guess rabies is really killing too many people. And it doesn't come from monkeys all around North India. It doesn't come from cats, bats. It only and only comes from dogs who are mysteriously found only and only in neighborhoods where people mistreat dogs. How crazy. How mysterious.
See, this is where I do agree. This comes back to, I would say that the Abrahamization of Hindu thought is quite tragic. Because if that hadn't happened, Hindus wouldn't be going around killing dogs and maiming them, beating them up for fun, using dog as an insult word, that sort of subconscious things like that, things matter. And they're not, I mean, I guess the only way you suggested, like you should neuter them, you should like vaccine them and then keep them on the street because they have multiple functions. They will then largely not, unless kids and you train.
No, mainly because we as a country or a state cannot afford a nice, beautiful shelter that will actually work for the health of the stray dogs. The kind of shelters that run today or the procedures that they do, they simply leave them in some other neighborhood. That's absolutely a death sentence for the dogs because they'll just fight their way to death. Yeah. They'll fight their way to death. So since we are not creating an imaginary Harry Potter farm for these dogs, therefore we have to leave them on the streets. Otherwise, shelters are a great idea. But if you are a BJP guy who's trying to get cut money from building shelters, then no. And especially such retarded shelters.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So, but no, I just wanted to say that I guess I don't know, maybe the temple, making temples private would mean that such stray dogs would be unbothered within the temple premises and you can save more of them.
They are unbothered inside the Ram Mandir. I petted dogs inside the Ram Mandir, not just in the campuses, in the corridors.
I'm
They're
not
chilling there.
surprised because in
The police are not telling them anything.
Tirumala, it was the same situation. But to be fair, Tirumala
Yeah.
is a little different. They were being put to the side.
Oh, these dogs were chilling, and
They were
it's
chilling.
absolutely
Don't get me wrong. They were chilling on the
spotless.
hill.
Yeah, absolutely spotless. Entire Ram Mandir campus is spotless. It's not like they're pooping all around the Ram Mandir.
Yeah.
That's being sure of.
So that's the thing. I would say is any private temple, matham, land, so on and so forth should take in these dogs. The question is, would the people CSK should then approach? I would again suggest CSK, since you're leading the charge in that sense, would be to go and speak to the, for example, the head of the Ramakrishna Mutt and all. If you're able to get there, if you're able to get in your word to the Acharyas and the Shankaracharyas of the world, that would be good. Because I know Vikram Sampath in one FIHCR or one of these other podcasts, and the gang were mentioning that they're contacting, I think it was Jaipur Dialogues, or they're mentioning we are now started to contact Acharyas about Ghar Wapasi. I think it was Rahul Diwan on the podcast from Sangam Talks. Yeah. So I'm using the same tool and recommending the same tool for this effort as well.
Right.
Of course, now we have ex-meat eaters and ex-beef eaters becoming completely dog and cow activists, which is quite an interesting turn of fortune in the last 9 months. But again,
that is the biggest giveaway. That is the biggest giveaway that the entire anti-dog tirade is probably being pushed by the deep state, because mysteriously Menuka Guruswamy and Kapil Sibal are the pro-dog lawyers. How often has such a coincidence occurred in India? Menuka Guruswamy and Kapil Sibal, the two main faces of the arguments of that side, mysteriously they are on the pro-dog side now. So who the fuck is the only guy pushing this in BJP against dogs? Because BJP is not pushing this as a whole. Indians in general overwhelmingly love animals. Otherwise, we would have way less dogs on the streets centuries back. Yes, we would have finished them off if we really hated dogs.
Yeah, exactly, like Islam did. Like South did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dada.
One thing I wanted to point out to Barbarica is, Barbarica, people who are dog haters or not aware of the animal rights scene get surprised when they hear this. Each and every dog lover, animal rights guy, dog rescuer, spot treatment guy in the entire country has been forever in favor of neutering, spaying, vaccination. Forever. It's their demand that please neuter and vaccinate and spay every dog you set your eyes upon from the state. And by the way, any guy or girl who is in the dog rescue business, not business, I'm saying business as a rhetorical device.
The trade.
Anyone who is in the dog rescue world and spot treatment world, animal rights world, has spent thousands of their own money in spaying or neutering some stray dog or the other. And I guarantee you this: everybody in the animal rights space and dog rescue space does this out of their own pocket, which is supposed to be done by the government. They have forever been doing it. And I have spent my own money as well.
Yourself as well, yeah.
Neutering and spaying the dogs in front of my office when I work in an office. So the demand has forever been this, but I just don't bring up my qualm with this, which is do not neuter stray male dogs because their bones get fucked after the age of 5. Only female dogs on the street should be spayed, but male dogs should not be neutered because you're not going to take care of them when their legs go fucked after the age of 5. But anyway, Rudvik, if you have some other points to add, otherwise we'll go to Anand now.
Oh yeah, no. So I just wanted to conclude by saying that the temples becoming self-owned as a bare minimum would allow for saving of stray dogs as well. And all in all, the animal violence thing is BS. As in, it's the fact that the Hindu mind has become Abrahamized is just mental. But I do, now that you mentioned that, like the fact that these what you call the Menuka Guruswamis of the world are now on the pro-dog argument, and when they have a large Muslim and Islamo-gay alliance, it just means that there is somebody in the deep state mucking about with the BJP, and I would extend that to the education minister as well.
Pituitary is bringing out a classic argument against talking about dogs is a classic obfuscation and nothing else. It doesn't achieve much else. Yes, unless people are vegan, they have the right to torture and kill dogs. That's your argument. Essentially, that's your premise.
I
And that
am
cannot work. We are
surprised
talking about
BJP
cruelty. We are talking about cruelty and transgression from normal civilization. That's what we are talking about, and that's not what happening when people are eating meat, because people are sensitized to it. People are normalized to eating meat in a different way. A person who is not cruel at all in anything can be a meat eater as well. That's just the reality of life. But when we are when you are indirectly endorsing dog cruelty, you are just encouraging psychopathic behavior. A random meat eater is not a psychopath. That's just how it is. Yeah. Yeah, Sran, you wanted to add something? Otherwise, after that, we'll go to...
That's
No,
all
no,
it is
just one liner. I am surprised this logic was not brought up by West Bengal BJP for pushing vegetarianism and eliminating eggs. I mean, if anything, they could have done this. कि देखिए मुर्गियों के साथ कितना अन्याय हो रहा है, कुत्तों के साथ नहीं होना चाहिए तो मुर्गियों के साथ नहीं होना चाहिए. That's why push. But otherwise, just two points, two small points. I'll take just 1 minute of your time. The thing is, the animal birth control policy was already there under implementation forever. Okay? There has been significant drop in dog bites. So if it is an execution problem at the municipal level, why would the
What do you think this is,
liability
Trayon?
of it fall upon the dogs?
See, this guy is completely ignoring the failure of his local municipality.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
why isn't there supposed to be
it
dirt
is
on your
not-
roads? You live in India,
Yeah.
not Japan. Your climate is filled with dirt anyway. You have dog poop there because someone was supposed to be cleaning it and someone got paid to clean it and didn't clean it.
Yeah, simply.
Why don't you
In
outsource
fact,
it to the owners, the cleaning? That's what I don't understand.
it is exactly in line with your drains overflooding during every monsoon, and the water that you have to wade through to reach your home is exactly filled with every sort of shit. Bird shit, dog shit, and God knows what. So, I mean, that is a problem there. It's not a problem here. Secondly, I believe the one probable thing that you could have done is every locality has some dog lover or other. So at least get them registered in some form of overseeing campaign of how the municipality carries out the vaccinations. If you're not a trained professional who can actually do that, just go along with these people and advocate that it is being done safely and no cruelty is being done. Take that much responsibility as an individual, that would go a long way, I believe. That's what I have to say. Sorry.
Anand, your time begins now.
Anand steps back. Dada,
Okay.
could you clarify that owners picking up their own dog poop kind of part? At
Yeah.
least the pet dogs, not the stray dogs.
That is the culture in every goddamn foreign country. You have to
Yeah.
carry a bag where you have to pick up the poop of your dog.
Exactly.
But if you're not even doing that,
Yeah.
maybe you should be fined with the CCTV cameras and stuff. Go about doing it.
Yeah, so,
It's just like
when
you peeing on roads and your dog peeing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
sad state of affairs.
Yeah. Go ahead, Anand. On all the
Okay.
topics. Iscon, egg, Mandir, temple freedom, rise in animal cruelty.
Let me see if I can remember everything. Give me a second.
Do we
Okay,
eat
so
dogs or
first,
do we save dogs or do we kill dogs? You have three options.
no, I will. My point will be nuanced. I'll be the dog point to the end, because then if you start talking about dogs, you guys will jump on my head. So I'm going to have a more middle of the ground, because I don't agree with Niranjan. I don't agree with Vijay Goyal either. Both of them are problematic, the extremes. Okay. First thing, let's start with the temple, because that's very important, and that's what I wanted to talk about in the beginning when I joined. So first, let's be very clear. This temple trust has barely had 3 years to function. Barely 3 years they've had time to function, like actually do anything significantly. There has been some nonsense shit, but this has happened in every religion worldwide. This kind of nonsense happens in mega churches in the US as well. That doesn't mean all the freaking government decides they're going to descend on the freaking mega church and shut it down. So the people, the devotees themselves say, don't you dare come near a mega church. We will handle our mega church ourselves. The bloody pastor did some corruption. We will kick his ass. You butt out. And this is the problem in India. Anytime you say, government घुस जाओ. क्यों घुस जाए भाई? तूने क्या बनाया? तूने donation किया क्या? Did you give the money? Did all the commies in your bureaucracy give the money to build the damn temple? No, then shut the fuck up. Stay away. This is the first attitude we should have first. We are too easy to like, government घुस जाओ. What government घुस जाओ? क्यों घुसना है भाई? They badly run. The devotees will take them to task. The donors will take them to task. That's what we need. We need a law for religious accountability. You want to do something, governments to do something, build a law for religious accountability. They can go to fast track case for court, where you find someone who's in your religion doing some bullshit, you can take them to court and kick their ass in civil court. Do that. You want to empower your devotees, empower the devotee that way. Don't stick your nose in the business thing. That is the problem. We want the bureaucrat to stick his nose into every bloody corner of our country. That's first thing. Second thing, 3 years these people didn't know this. The Mohan Bhagwat and Modi arrived to take all credit of the Ram Mandir. 3 years they were not paying attention. What was going on with this Champatra and all? What were they doing? Dreaming? What has Modi made one comment about it? Why has he not made a comment about it? He came with big drama he did, right? I support what he didn't do big drama in the Ram temple. That was all his hard work he did, right? What has this people done? They ruined his hard work. Why is he not speaking up?
In favor of, in defense of Modi ji. So, Anand, you want bichara ek din mandir kya chala gaya, now you want him to look after the daily operations?
Ek din mandir nahi chala gaya. He did the full work to do the start and end of the Prana Pratishtha. He did the full work. If he's a dharmic person, he's like, I cannot, how dare he do this? He took any NEET thing he took, he said, I'm taking charge of NEET. Why is he not taking charge of this as well?
He didn't take charge of NEET.
They said, no, Modi is observing the NEET event.
No, he's
directly engaged.
Birthday, man, with the thing,
No,
may you bless 1,000 years.
Where is Mohan Bhagwat? He said, no, the only 3 temples we want is Ram.
Deep state, who knows?
No, he said, no, we want only Ram temple, we want only Mathura, and we want Kashi. These 3 we want and we don't care about anything else. He said all Hindus, the rest of the country should not interfere, not go near any temples. What are you managing in 3 temples you are controlling? What are you doing? What are you doing, Mohan Bhagwat? These are RSS, VHP people. What were you doing so long? Sleeping? Dreaming? Don't tell me he didn't know that this is going on.
How were they supposed to know that wahan chori chal rahi hai?
Hello, I'm sorry.
How can
there are enough. There's literally one guy who was interviewed today. They said we didn't get receipts. How can you not give receipts for any money you get? It is your duty to the deity. If you really have आस्था in your deity, भगवान के लिए दे रहे हैं. At least उनके लिए लिखो. Write down the receipt. Put Bhagwan stamp there and say this is what the money we're being given for Bhagwan.
I want you to make an educated guess on this. The people who stole the funds from Ram Mandir, were they purple-haired transgenders from California? How can believers do this?
I don't get this.
How is this possible? How can they not fear God then? How is this fucking thing possible? How can believers steal from God?
Because they're not believers. If you were a believer, you would go and jump into go Garud Puran, you'll go for tie yourself with chains. Because that's what it says in Garud Puran, if you're a believer. They do hot chains. You have to tie hot chains and you do prashchit. You really are a believer.
To add quickly to Anand's point, I've come to observe a thing. I don't know if you agree with me or not. An activist is just a bandwagoner. They're not a true believer.
Yeah.
So it appears to me that they just wanted to see that Ram Mandir being built because it is a symbol of them building it's as good as somebody working 20 years to build a big cricket stadium. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The funda is very similar. So I agree with you. I just wanted to add that point.
And I agree with you completely about this age thing. I'll tell you why there was no one reported it. Because someone in the lower echelons are like, oh, ye kya ho raha hai? Oh, if I say anything about Champat Rai ji, everyone will say, oh my God, how can you say anything Champat Rai ji? He's an elder, you know. He's an elder state. You know how hard he worked for this thing? How can you say anything?
He saw the caste name and he's like, hey, I can't speak like this.
No, forget about the caste. I'm telling you, I experienced in Bangalore Metro the other day, okay? I'm standing nightly in line, following the rules. Some old gentleman decides to go squeeze in, okay? We block the road and everything. I'm telling him, sir, can you please stand behind, let people exit? He's some young boy next to, and this is the problem. A lot of youngsters also follow this bullshit. How can you talk to him like that? He's an old person. Don't you have any respect for old people? They're doing mistake. Old people doing mistake, and you're like, you're old people, do whatever you want. This is what the problem is. He's right. This is absolutely right. This is what is happening.
This happens far too often.
Anand, I have to add something to this. This how.
No, let me finish. I was waiting for so long. I will finish my. I thought I'll forget.
I didn't finish from the beginning, so.
Please, I have to sit and finish everything because lots of stuff is sitting here. I'll just forget it. That's one thing. Second, third, so that's old, not mentioning it. Where is RSS? They give lecture about everything in society. This is the biggest thing that they've been fighting for how many years? 50 years even. First of all, they've not been fighting 500 years. The RSS and VHP can't say they've been fighting 500 years. You've been fighting for since the time you were created. The other people have been fighting for 500 years. You're just joint on the latest cog in the wheel. This is arrogance. This is what the arrogance comes from. And then this one VHP head, I don't know, some guy, VHP head was saying, oh, sweetly, oh, we should wait for them. Let us wait and observe what is happening. About 3 years, this has been happening. What were you doing? You should be angry with yourself. I'm angry that I didn't pay attention. There's no anger, no self-criticism. What have we done? They've ruined the hard work that all we have done. There's no care. The biggest problem with the thing is not about, in fact, Akhilesh Yadav is taking advantage of this bullshit. You're not even taking steps to say, we will not allow this other people opposition to take advantage of this. That is not, I'm thinking, all these people don't care. They care about the clout they got from it. So they're not real believers. A real believer will be killing them inside. Every second it will be hurting. You really believe. Because what? You remember what is Ram Lalla? He's a perpetual minor. You're supposed to be a caretaker. I mean, what kind of people are you? No one's angry. No reporters asking, what nonsense are you two is talking? Where is the remorse in your voice? You seem uncaring to the situation. This is how you follow dharma? That's the question you should be asking. No one's asking this question. And the guy who wrote the Yogi biography, he was not upset. Yogi didn't do anything in this problem. He didn't do anything in this mistake. And he's being Modi is not here. Mohan Bagan is not here. No one's there. And they were saying, look at Yogi, look at Yogi. What does Yogi do in this thing? He's not even taking the action to fix something. And you all are like, oh, we'll let Yogi handle the problem. औकात नहीं है कुछ करने की, कुछ करने ही नहीं कोई लोग. And have you noticed not one BJP functionary on all these social media guys have not talked about it?
Yeah, Pradeep Bhandari, none of them.
Forget Pradeep Bhandari. All the people who keep forcing out RSS, VHP are so good, hardworking. They build the system and they are so hardworking at the ground level. कोई बात नहीं कर रहा. You should be interviewing the people who are in charge. See, why have you destroyed the public trust? Why have you destroyed our trust in your organization? हमारा reputation पानी में फेर रहा है. कोई नहीं बात नहीं किया. They're busy talking about something else recently started. Some other thing nonsense started. They don't talk about that next. So that is missing. Next. Now this is the temple thing. So the temple freedom. Okay, now I'll tell you why I think temple freedom is still a very good point. And I don't agree government should be involved. So also I don't agree that you can put one large organization managing all temples in India. It's not possible. Because all the Sampradayak and even the non-Sampradayak temples will have problems. So what you have to do, you need is the government has to provide an audit system. So for example, the devotees, like I said, if you create a law, the devotees can approach the government and say, can you audit this particular aspect of the temple and stop there? Audit this aspect and check whether there's any foul play and you just stop after that. There should be a system, a legal, very like RTI, similar to RTI, but less invasive. So that kind of system they be available to devotees and only devotees, not some Akhilesh Yadav decides, okay, I'm fighting for Ram Lalla today. I'm sorry, you are against Ram Lalla. It should be clear. You are not for the temple. You don't get to speak about it.
One question, Anand. How do you differentiate between devotees and non-devotees?
It is very. You can observe that. No. It's just like how you make out if someone's paying your electricity bill. A devotee will be shown his devotion. Let's be very clear. I can't just announce I'm a devotee tomorrow. Let's be very clear.
Or maybe there is some registration system in the temple where you have to register as a devotee.
There is no need to register. If you do basic CCTV checking, you can make out the person is a devotee or not. They've donated, they've come, they've done something, some ritual they've done for that.
But I think that is very subjective to see and figure out whether the person is devotee or not.
It is less subjective than person not even coming and giving lecture about Ram Lalla. Akhilesh Yadav has not even visited bloody Ram Mandir. And he should be, the reports say, why are you talking? Did you hold Ram Mandir? That's what the reporter should ask him. Keep back. तुम कैसी बात कर सकते हो? राम के you're a devotee? गए तुम? That's what reporter should be. What is this namby-pamby? What is your opinion, sir, about the issue? And then he's making some comments. What? He made some comment about the stealing of the money. Some comment he made. Who is in the comment?
अरे भाई पत्रकारों के विषय में बात मत करो भाई.
They asking Salman Khurshid. What is your opinion? Abe, who are you to have an opinion? You are a bhakt of Ram? You do idol worship?
Typical South Indian gesture. What is your opinion? Anyway, so.
No, wait, I'm not finished. Wait, hold on. You have to wait. You'll have to wait. Sorry. I was waiting for a long time, so I have to wait. That's one thing. Saying you have to create a system where only a devotee can apply to like an RTI system to check whether that particular temple has some problem with audits. And that we must provide for prima facie, this is the evidence I have collected. Then there can be investigation. And there should be no bloody person saying, oh, older person, don't say anything about them. And if someone says it, that person should be immediately dragged across the courts. Very important. This is very important. This thing needs to be changed fundamentally. Second thing, for example, there are some common temples across India. There are certain sampradayas, Ramanandis, Ramanujacharyas, the Shaiva, certain kinds of Shaivas, some Smartas. Get them to organize themselves into a single matha, organize like a what do you call it? Like a audit system. Get them build a system where not like basically exactly, and you basically build a corpus. So every year, from all the temples of that particular sampradaya, it is donated into an audit system, like basically a financial audit system. Take a firm on retainer. All the simple. So the bigger sampradayas can easily manage this. No problem for them. They can do this. Keep the firm external, and every year, every quarterly, you do an audit and provide it in the fund letter of the sampradaya. So the public letter they send to everyone, send the sampradaya, say regular, this is what we audit we did, this is what we found. So the smaller temples, then maybe you can say the government can help assist them. Maybe they're like in some region you have a one audit firm is helping to manage that, and then you do a regular audit and put it on the website. Like you have use digital tools for this. But doesn't mean you get to control the temple. The temple money is not yours. Let's be very clear. When someone donates, this is I think from what I've understood, the Aspika perspective is when you donate to a temple, you're donating to yourself. You're donating to Bhagwan. It is a sacrifice of money. You given, so gaya, paisa gaya. That money is gone. That's why in Kerala, for example, those vaults cannot be touched. That money is not yours. That money is property of Bhagwan. It's not your money. So if any action is to be done with that money, it's to be done for Bhagwan's benefit. So if Bhagwan's benefit is to build bagichas around, to build places for the devotees to pray, to sit there and do dhyanam when they come to temple, then you put that, you invest that money. If Bhagwan's, for example, it's a Vaishnava temple, you can't suddenly start putting meat eating shops around. Vaishnavas don't believe in meat eating. You can't say, oh, because I've decided that it will be used for meat eating. You can't put meat eating shops around. Or it's a Kamakya temple. You can't be like, oh, Kamakya, I'm a Vaishnava person. I will say, no, the animal slaughter cannot happen near Kamakya temple. And I will impose this rule on that temple. It is very clear what you're doing with the temple money is only for the Bhagwan's benefit. Not for your benefit. Not for the devotee's benefit. Devotee is sacrificed, already finished. You don't get anything back. Please, people need to understand this concept. People think, it's something, some trade, negotiated trade. Then go meet a badiya then. You want to trade. You don't trade with Bhagwan. Like, what is this attitude? How many people keep saying, oh, hamare liye karna. Aap ye liye kyun karna hai, bhai? That's the last thing. So about this is about temple thing. Now, what's the next one? About what was the next question about? This
Dogs.
No, dogs is last. Dogs is last.
Going
What's the second?
Nutrition.
Opposition going extinct. Nutrition.
Nutrition. Okay. So now again, I disagree completely with what Shayan said. See, first of all, let us be scientific about this. Yes, meat provides you added benefit in building muscle quickly. It's much easier to build muscle.
I'm not talking about meat. I'm just talking about eggs because it's the middle path.
No, but the eggs framing has happened because the BJP has stuck its foot again in its mouth. Okay, so honestly, I think they've stuck their foot in the mouth. I would have suggested that for a midday meal scheme, similar to what Rutvik said, you have options. You find 2-3 vendors who provide a standardized option. I personally think why they chose Akshay Patra is because those guys have a large mass production system. Okay, and QA is a big thing in food, children's food, especially because if some some kida is there in it, then some opposition will start making a big halla about it, right? So they're worried about that. I personally, that's what they're worried about. They say, okay, these people have a tried and tested method. Let's just be, and you need to deploy it quickly because Shuvendu clearly is about deploying stuff quickly. It's very obvious. He's like, I'm not going to sit and wait for 2 years, 3 years in order to get things done.
He doesn't delete any.
He doesn't delete it. So I'm thinking he's like, let's do it quickly. And Akshay Patra is the only one who can do mass scale right now. So my suggestion would be to the Bengal government is you do the Akshay Patra fine, but say I want a modification of the food. It needs to have more fiber, vegetables that have fiber in it. First of all, I've seen Akshay Patra food. It looks horrible. It's like only rice and dal and then one small vegetable and watery dal on top of that also. So kids are eating water in their plate. I know what the hell is this? This is not food. So the dal must not be just tur dal. It needs to be other kinds of dal. Very important. Diversify the dals you provide. And every day it can't be the same dal. So you diversify the dals. Go from white rice to millets. You can do white rice also. Maybe if you do at the end of the week, you want to give the kids some fun, then you give them a white rice.
Don't just have one thing, weekly.
Yes, and provide them vegetable. Very important to provide good vegetables. Give fibrous, healthy vegetables. You don't have to only carrots. You can do the peas.
Anand,
you can do
what
peas.
The fuck is a healthy vegetable in India? What vegetable is healthy in India? Which vegetable?
Peas is very healthy.
In India,
peas is high in protein.
Yeah, that's where I get
peas
my protein from, but only because I eat 23 grams of it from a protein powder, not actual peas. If I had to eat actual peas, I would need 2 full kadais of pea. Yes.
Wait, but the concept of pea is not to have like matar paneer pea. Sorry, just quickly to just say, it's you want to come up because you're a collective that is trying to do betterment for everybody. Make pea tikkis. No, like there's options. Densify it. Kaju and pea mix, make a tikki out of it with little bit of chickpeas here and there, and combine in ghee and some besan maybe perhaps. If you want to pep it up with some spice, add spice to that. You have options. It's not what we are saying is that it doesn't need to be boring as well. We have the Indian cookery recipe book has details to solve this problem, no? And
tried Guju, by the way.
Dosa is not dosa like urad dal pure. I'm suggesting this thing called pesaratto. You have green dal, green moong, whatever thing. You make a chilka, whatever you call it in North India, like that sort of a thing. You fry it and you can give it.
Yeah, okay. So there are a lot of options in vegetarian. The problem is we are restricting ourselves to what we see in Akshay Patra. Akshay Patra is not the standard of vegetarian food. I agree with you there that Akshay Patra is not the standard. We should not be following that standard. We can diversify the vegetable. And you're right. The meat eaters need to have the ability to eat meat for their kids. The kids can't be forced to eat only vegetarian food. I am against that as well. The kids can't be forced to eat something that the government is telling them to eat. So you give options. Give a low cost option, and you can put eggs in that. I would suggest you put fish in that. Someone is saying, oh, machli. Put fish in that, bhai. I'm no problem. Put a fish. Put one small piece of fish in that. I'm okay with that. Put fish, but don't attack the vegetarians because of that. You know what's happening right now? It's becoming an attack on vegetarians. Vegetarians are horrible people. Vegetarians are imposing their thing. Vegetarians rarely impose their thing on anyone. They're like, hame khana hai vegetarian, hame chhod do bhai. Hame nahi khana aapka meat. But meat is like, no, aap khaiye. When we go with friends, aap khaiye meat. Meat nahi chahiye mujhe, chicken khao. Dubla patla. Dubla patla hai. Khao. Like non-stop.
Anytime you mention the fact that you are vegetarian or vegan in somebody in front of somebody, they immediately turn into a nutritionist. Everybody.
I know.
Even if they are fat for themselves.
It's like it's an animal wanting to point its dick at the tree and mark it with its piss. That's what I think.
So I'm okay with providing non-veg options in Bengal. Please provide it. I think it's a good idea. And one more thing, you can actually make it an excuse for farming, diversified farming in Bengal. So because you farm it in Bengal, it's cheaper to provide in Bengal, right? You don't need to go to the other state to bring it. You propose it. There are yams. There are like not. It can be replacement to rice. You can provide ram, just a yam vegetable. It will fill you very quickly. You don't even have to have a large quantity because you get sleepy when you have rice, right? And you want kids to be studying with awake, so you can provide yam. You can provide potatoes are not real, but that's my point on the meat eating thing, right? It's not a one size fits all. The problem is we are allowing this thing to become. Same in Karnataka. Same issue happened, right? Some book called some textbook was given Krishna, Karnataka's traditional cuisine, and in that it put no eggs was mentioned, and everyone's losing their mind. This vegetarian imposition. I'm like, hello, lot of Karnatakas are vegetarian. They are pure vegetarian, and they've been managing for a long time like this. Yes, some people, some groups do eat meat. So, and they think, oh, it's like just like Hindi imposition. You know, impose Kannada on every other population in Karnataka. Tulu people, Konkani people, they have to speak Kannada also like you. You didn't impose it on them for a state identity. You did right. The Tamil people in the eastern coast, say southern part of Karnataka, close to Hosur, they have to speak Kannada. The people in Hyderabad, Karnataka area, they have to speak Kannada because they are all, many of them are Telugu people. The people in north of Karnataka, all Marathi speakers originally, they speak Kannada. You didn't impose it on them. A lot of people in northern Karnataka don't eat meat. We say, oh, we are eating meat because we eat meat on the coast of Mangalore. So all of you all also eat meat. Like, this is the argument you make. You say, yeah, no, but add along with that.
No, if the personal choice is that significant an argument, then it would have to be asked that since vegetarian kids are not being force-fed meat, why should non-vegetarian kids be force-fed that sattvic?
They should not be. They should not be force-fed. They should not be force-fed sattvic. No vegetarian
is the only option. If it's only an option, is the only option, then they are being force-fed.
Iscon people are the only people who do this. Okay, I'm sorry. All other vegetarians in India will ever talk like this. No other vegetarian in India will say, oh, force-feed us people vegetarian food. It's only Iscon who does this because they believe it's part of their religious identity.
No, all modern day ashrams only eat sattvic food only. That's what they serve in their campus.
But they won't because
all of them campus, if Chinmay Mission got the tender for providing the midday meals, they would serve the same food.
My point is, you provide two options. You have two suppliers. It is not complicated. You provide two suppliers. You have to diversify. Right?
Yeah. I don't want to force Iscon people to touch egg and meat now. I don't want them
let's be clear. And all of these people, these activists, go on giving lecture of Western countries. Western countries midday meal is horrible. Horrible. It's chocolate milk.
Junk. Only Japan is worth speaking. Everything else is horrible.
Anand, and Ruthi, remember, Michelle Obama introduced some carrots and she got accused of similar stuff. You are eating vegetarian. Why should we eat healthy diets, bro? It's America. We eat
Tetra Pak chocolate milk, whipped potato. Some burger with I don't know what weird processed burger.
It was a frozen patty that they fry and they may put in bun and they give that, and they give preservatives in the juice and fried food. So much for a good midday meal. That's not it. In fact, now people would kill to have an Akshay Patra meal. These Westerners compared to this. I mean,
no, Akshay Patra is not great. I wouldn't approve Akshay Patra meal. Anyway, but their curd is very good. Curd is very good. Very thick and nice. Compared to the curd we get, it's very good. Okay, so now the last point. Now the most controversial one that Rinan is going to kick me from the program when I'm going to talk. Okay, first, let us acknowledge urban dogs are not meant to be urban. Okay, they're technically wild dogs who have become urban. Most of the Indian varieties, they're not meant to be in small, tight spaces. They're meant to be large, open fields, running, and the excess energy they have to burn it. The Indian variety of dogs all have to burn their energy. They cannot be sitting in small spaces. That's why there's so many bites going on, because the space that they have in crowded cities, it's not enough space for them to release their energy. They're not like Labradors and other domestic dogs that have been bred by the Western countries. These dogs are meant to just let out the energy, that aggression, and they are being condensed into cities because our cities are getting denser and denser and denser and denser, and we provide them food in our cities. You really want to save those dogs, get them out of the cities. They cannot be among the city areas. You have to remove them out of the cities. And secondly, with higher density of population, you're not helping the dog. You're only causing it more stress. Because dogs are fundamentally like chimpanzees and other apes. Their large family groups will start splintering to smaller family groups, and they start fighting. So you build a lot of these bites happen through conflict. So they all hyped up on adrenaline.
Can you
Yes.
begin your dog arguments again? I have to hear them from the beginning.
Oh, okay, you're not here. Okay. So first of all, Indian dogs, at least the Indian dog species, are not meant to be in tight, city areas. They're meant to be large, open spaces where they can enjoy, release their energy. They're a very energetic, aggressive breed that do not need much protection from people. They're independent species. That's why they're one of the few dog species in the world that require almost no upkeep. They can literally be healthy without you even feeding them. They will go find food for themselves. They're very self-sufficient animals.
They are not cats. They can't hunt. They are not going to kill a hen if their life depended on it.
No, maybe because we are pampering them so much. I think they are very well.
It's a social evolution phenomenon. We are not pandering to dogs out of no reason. Why aren't we pandering to cats and tigers, etc.?
No. Because our spaces for dogs is reducing. The open space for dogs to enjoy them.
Yeah.
Because that's my point. My point is, you want to really do the benefit to dogs, get them out of your cities. They cannot be in the city. They have to be out in the open areas, in the village areas, rural areas. Yeah, that's how you provide. That's my point. Similar to how you're creating areas for elephants and tigers, these dogs need spaces where they can be themselves. The problem is that cities, first of all, there's so much noise.
What is then the difference between a domestic animal and a stray animal and a wild animal? Are they all the same?
Because they are not a domestic animal anymore. My point is they're not domestic.
How did they become the friends of humans the most?
Because that's what I'm saying. No, there's a line in the middle. The Indian dog is not on the.
They can become friends of humans only when they are in open spaces. They can't be my friends if they live in a tight neighborhood. How?
They can be a friend.
Why hasn't that ever happened to dog lovers? Then
let me finish my point. Let me finish. Wait, man, wait. The point is not about whether they can be friends. In small numbers, they can be friends. When they're not in large groups, they can be friends. But once the group gets very large, they need that the pack mentality, the natural instincts will come out.
They kick out their people from their packs if the food shortage is that high. They maintain their population on their own.
They don't maintain it on their own. How are you saying they maintain it?
Yes.
There's a lot of frequent fights.
They kick out extra dogs. If they can't have enough food, that dog will get kicked out.
Yes.
The weakest of the herd will get kicked out.
Exactly. And this normally happens it doesn't cause any collateral damage in open spaces. In the city areas, it causes collateral damage because technically these dogs have high adrenaline. And the dog bites will happen when this happens. When the animals are heightened.
Why are dog bites not common in neighborhoods where people love dogs?
What is the statement? Everywhere there's a dog bites.
Why doesn't
even neighborhoods they love dogs? No.
Where?
Show me examples. Show me examples.
If dogs were no, you have a self-defeating argument here. If you had dogs that become aggressive for no reason, then they wouldn't become man's best friend for centuries.
No. There's a reason why even till today in West. No, let me finish. There's a reason even till today in the West they make you muzzle your dog because any dog can get aggressive. I'm sorry, this argument isn't making sense because only
in certain states. Only pit bulls.
No, all breeds.
Only in certain states.
No, all breeds.
All dogs are not muzzled. Not at all.
All breeds.
Absolutely not.
No, all breeds.
Absolutely not.
No, I'm telling you.
No.
All breeds.
All states don't have that rule.
My sister's dog bites people. And
in every state, do they muzzle dogs in USA?
No. Yes, every state. You're supposed to muzzle your dog. When you take them out, you're supposed to muzzle it. You're supposed to.
Only for specific breeds. Only for specific breeds.
I have something favorable to moderate this. Which is
yes, good.
You have to muzzle your dog.
No, all it is that we agree that just like humans, like a Sherpa is genetically evolved to sustain more air, longer breathing in a mountainous area, whereas this is not the same with the dogs. So there are certain dogs that are specifically come along for, which is Indian breeds I'm talking about, them born and bred, which are for hunting, some which are for fetching, like the retriever equivalent, some which are for that. My point is that because of this fact alone, the fact that they've been 5,000 years plus known history of companionship with human beings in India, and they went to Australia as a result, and the dingo is their cousin. That alone should basically say that because they are not accustomed to being in the wild like a wolf. A wolf is different. So in that sense, I would like just to ensure that the baseline of the conversation is different. I would like to just mention that I don't think the wild hunting argument comes in here. I think that would help the conversation move a little bit further. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, I was wrong. With not all dogs, but there are a lot of dogs that are being asked to be muzzled in lots of countries. But my point is, any dog can.
They are pit bulls who are trained, who have been bred for generations to be aggressive as fuck.
But my point is, you're talking about the worst case. I'm saying even a normal dog, a peaceful dog, can bite at very random times
for no reason. For no reason.
Yes, for no reason. My sister's dog has bitten people.
Why?
Because it feels it doesn't like what you're doing. In the space that it stands waiting in, it is decided. It is between people.
There's no history. There's no history in its genetics and no cruelty.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to go check. I'm going to go check. Niranjan, I have a question for you. Are you going to go when you're walking through a road on the street? Are you going to go check each dog's history before you walk next to it? No. If
you fear dogs, you maintain distance. That's how people have survived with dogs forever.
You cannot maintain.
This is small all of a sudden now have a rule only for dog fearers, of dog fearers, by dog fearers.
Listen.
Dog fearers all of a sudden.
You cannot maintain your distance in small lanes of India. I'm sorry. That's just not possible. This is a fantasy you're living.
Why isn't there a massacre of human beings at the hands of dogs?
It doesn't matter the massacre. They've given few bites is the problem. Because
why? How?
It's learned behavior.
No, we only have trade-offs, not solutions. How are few bites a problem?
I just told you. The solution is you cannot have such monkeys. No, you're not listening. You can't have such a high density of dogs in city areas. That's just the reality.
And
you can have some dogs. You just what do you mean? Because of what is happening right now. Do you want dogs to be hurt? Humans will fight dogs then.
Dogs are being hurt by humans. Dogs are not being hurt by dogs.
They are being hurt by dogs. What do you mean they're not being hurt by dogs?
Just one point.
Let me comment.
What's cruelty? They drive out other dogs.
Not dog versus dog fights. I'm not saying dog is man's best friend. Yes, there are.
No, there are a lot of dogs being attacked by other dogs. I'm sorry.
Let me come in. First thing is you have to reduce the dog population in cities. Whether you send them away or you neuter them. You have to reduce the population. Because
I'm in favor of because it reduces the chances of cruelty.
So what Anand said, that Indian lanes are very small and you cannot keep distance from dogs. So when I walk on streets, many dogs are sleeping on your pavement. Okay. So the road is blocked by cars. Some of them are parked on roads and your pavement is blocked by the dog. So you have to be very careful so as to ensure that you avoid the dog. If you press the
also assume that this dog is the hypothetical aggressive for no reason dog of Anand.
No.
It's not about me, man. I love dogs. Don't even frame it like I'm a dog hater. I'm saying I feel
aggressive for no fucking reason.
They are the reason. I'm sorry. You love dogs doesn't mean dogs have no reason. There's no fault. Dogs have a fault. They are too aggressive in cities. I'm sorry.
They are too stupid to be evil. They are too stupid
to be evil. They're not evil. They're aggressive. Yes. Aggressiveness is not evil. Aggressive means aggressive.
For no reason or for a reason. Why does that aggression happen only in
the reason is that the city areas cannot support this dog population.
So you are saying the city areas where dogs are not aggressive, in the city areas where dogs are not aggressive, there the population doesn't matter because mysteriously the people love the dogs in those neighborhoods.
No, it's not because of that. Because the population has not reached the point. Once it reaches that point, they will get aggressive again. I'm sorry.
No,
you're making an argument doesn't happen. No, you're not even falsified.
There's no data to back this up. Every random dog-loving neighborhood is only a dog-loving.
Give me an example of dog-loving. Give me a dog-loving neighborhood that has a high population.
Every place I have ever been to or lived in India.
Sir, give me an example.
Every place I have been to or lived in India.
How many dogs are in your neighborhood? How many dogs are in your neighborhood?
10.
10 dogs. How big is your neighborhood? How big is your neighborhood?
2 alleys.
How can the 10 dogs be in 2 alleys? Not possible.
Why
They
can't?
definitely travel larger regions. What are you talking about? How is it possible
They don't,
only sit in the
because
2
there are
alleys?
another 10 dogs 3 alleys down.
Wait, so
Then
would it be safe to say the land mass is around 20 acres, Dada, your neighborhood?
Tollygunge, South Kolkata.
In
I don't
plain
know.
English?
It's
I
your
think-
run-of-the-mill urban
I
neighborhood.
think there has to be a
And these
research
dog-
on total number of
and the-
dogs versus total number of people. What is the area in which those dogs live? And in which areas, what is the density of dogs and what is the density of people?
Yeah.
And
for
where
example, they track
is the
wild animals like
tendency of
tiger
the
and
dogs
camels, they
to
should
be
do this.
aggressive?
And these
There
dogs
has
live in
to
such
be a
horrible
proper
conditions.
study done on this.
And these dogs live in horrible conditions in cities. They live in drains. It's filthy there.
Yes, hence animal rights
is
activists talk about
freaking
neutering and
filthy.
spaying. We don't disagree on neutering and spaying. We disagree on
I'm not
removing
disagreeing
them from
either.
streets. Yes, you are. You are
But
talking
they're
about
living in a
removing them
filthy
and moving them
location,
to a
bhai.
hypothetical area. We can't have a national forest for dogs. We don't have the budget for that. So we have to have them in the streets, not in imaginary
They're
shelters.
not in forests, bhai. I'm saying outskirts of cities. They cannot live in the city. The heart of the city, they cannot live.
Which outskirt of an Indian city aren't there dogs already?
Dada, your permission, please, just to make the conversation a little bit more productive. The point about the putting them outside the cities, fundamentally, dogs get run over on the highways. They just walk and the car will go swerve. Same with the cow. So that it's not exactly that simple. I think everybody can agree on that. Common point to agree on, right? The other thing is about the dogs per capita, per landmass, per neighborhood is what Anand says is a valid point in the sense that it stresses the dog out because it's got too much external stimulus, right? Because maybe just out of excitement, it's looking at so many people and this. So we can agree on that, right? And the drain part is also bad, so we can all agree on that as well, right? So what I guess we are trying to get to with this is that the commonality of disagreement is just that the people can't coexist with the dog beyond a certain sort of ratio number. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that all?
And yeah, and all I'm saying is that even if that is the case, we can't send them to random shelters and outskirts of the city where there are dogs already because they'll just fight to death.
But that's part of nature. You're going to interfere in nature now? What about free market of nature?
Nature is them living in their territories happily, not being sent to somewhere else.
This is not. You have created a territory by feeding them and saying, okay, come hang out with me.
But
You made a territory. I'm sorry. Humans have created a territory.
Yes, absolutely. The
humans have created a territory.
Outskirts of the city is also man-made. It's not a natural.
Humans have created a territory.
No, just 1 minute. Yes. Abhay, can you just quickly, because Abhay, you were being spoken over, so you can make your point completely. Then just to make the conversation a little bit more productive on this matter.
Regarding free market of dogs that Anand talked about, the thing is, we created cities by cutting down forests. So where today's cities are, many animals used to live, like tigers, lions. Yeah. So they had to be displaced. So what is the problem if dogs are also displaced? And if they die, it's the law of nature.
Yeah, we did casteism forever. Let's do it also.
Okay. This is okay. Just so that the point is clear, we have what is being presented is that the dog should survive in the nature as a wild animal / it fight amongst themselves because it is the law of nature. Because of artificial situations in the city, they shouldn't be there, and as a result, put into a situation where it is more natural and the free market of dog sort of goes into the play, right? Now, Dada, you go because what I'm trying to get at is something very crucial. Sorry, Shayan, you were saying something?
If I may mention a point, see, you propose pushing the dog to the outskirts. Now,
I think he's stuck.
Not all dogs, by the way. I'm saying only after it reaches the population above a certain limit. Like you have to scientifically do this. You cannot do it emotionally. You have to do it like.
The common point here is that there is a dog per capita per landmass metric we are working with here.
Yes. And punish irresponsible dog owners who are just breeding dogs and leaving them in the street. That too has to happen
dog
first.
Breeding has to be banned. Dog breeding has to be illegal. There is zero regulation in the dog industry. There needs to be regulation. There needs to be huge regulation because it's a commodity that can't speak for itself. It cannot give consent. It's absolutely raped. There are rape racks. They are called rape racks because they are used to breed them.
It's
Okay,
as
so
good as
I know,
arguing
that
for
I-
examination, no?
Regarding dogs, look, I have had a personal experience.
Who
Oh.
got kicked out? Did
Abhay,
I kick out
Abhay.
Abhay by
Abhay.
mistake? Or else
Abhay.
Okay, let Abhay come back. Okay, Swan, make your point.
Yeah. So basically, if you push these dogs to the outskirts, now what is their source of food over there? I believe, and it is a noted observation, that only because they live around humans, where there's a, let's say there's no dearth of food. In city, there's no dearth of food. Even the local fast food centers take up the responsibility of daily feeding
Swayan,
these dogs. You see,
municipalities did not
if you
have
push them to the outskirts, it is then
abandoned.
when their hunter instincts would.
If our cities were not full of thrown away food on the
Yes, sir.
garbage dumps, there would be less of stray dogs anyway.
I agree
Yeah,
with you.
okay,
I
so-
agree.
So say we all
Yeah.
agree that the municipal management of
That's
that
one
of this
thing. And
metric is quite important. Sorry, Shreya, I interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
yes. Rather, no, that's fine. Rather, if you push them to the outskirts where there is a lack of food, they will develop hunter instincts. This is when the cases of attacks would increase more, because then they would be largely unfamiliar with the human population. Now, the
That's when
point
they'll
is,
become
whatever
dingoes
measures
again.
that has to be taken by the municipality, yes, have they been taken? If they have not been enforced yet, and there's a lot to do that can already be done, then why are you talking about pushing them out? It is like you're talking about these, for let's say, dogs now. The problem keeps shifting. Today, if dog shit is a problem, why is bird shit not a problem or cat shit not a problem? So that is a municipal
It's a
hygiene
problem.
I
issue.
would argue pigeon
As
shit is
far as the
toxic.
question
Okay,
of
if
It's a
it comes
problem.
with- yeah, it's a problem.
It's a problem. Why say this is a straw man
But
argument.
one thing is there.
It's
one thing is
all
there.
a problem.
no, it's not.
One thing is there
It's not a
regarding
straw man
cats.
argument. What I am trying
It's a
to
straw man
say
argument.
is today, if it is a problem, tomorrow are you going to say shoot down all the fucking crows because you cannot stop crows
Yes.
from shitting on places?
You should be reducing number of crows. There are too many crows in India. They've killed every other population. You should be shooting miners. The miners have wiped out all the sparrows. It's because Indian people don't want to take significant action to manage your population.
There is a second point here, which is everybody can sort of at least say that
All
it
the
is a-
sparrows are gone because of the fact that we have not let the miners go
there's
rampant.
crows and other stuff. Yeah. Is it safe to say that there is a second point of not contention? The second point that is quite important is invasiveness of species is to be quantified, and that's quite important. Is fair to say?
See, I'm an environment at my heart. I'm an environmentalist. I want the environment to be balanced in all its forms. I want dogs to live harmoniously with humans. I want all these different. I want vultures. No one talks about vultures. Vultures are gone. We've wiped out vultures.
They're getting killed because of pesticides and all that junk in the farm, in the cows, and in the. Oh, there was a thing where the dogs were poisoned. They were thrown out, and the vultures came. Ate the vultures also died.
Yes. I mean, that is the discussion you're having. If you're an animal lover, you will love all animals, including the ones that they don't even care about. We don't care about the ones that look ugly.
That is unfortunately the truth. Yes.
No, unfortunately,
The
that is
cute.
not how
The dog is
ecology works.
cute.
If
The
in
dog
one
is so
go you
cute.
are
Let me
trying to
love the dog.
artificially-
But to the vulture.
Sorry, Shreyan.
No,
Sorry,
then,
Shreyan.
no, that
no,
argument
not-
cannot be made by anybody other than a vegan.
Why do we people?
I'm
why
not a
do
vegan.
people? I have a question. Why do people experience issues with dogs when it comes to human-dog conflict? There are cats also. Why don't those conflicts happens with cats?
By those
you know
rabies
the
comes
answer
from
to that.
cats
You know the answer
and
to
bats
that.
and
Can you
monkeys,
say the answer?
not just
Can you
from.
say the
Though,
answer?
though
Can you
you
say the
Neuter the
answer?
cats
though
too.
you
No
will
answer to
see
the problem.
No,
Neuter the cats too.
understand.
They're very horny.
No. Let me
No,
complete.
it's not. It's not
The thing
about
with-
cat or dogs or monkeys. There are several regions in India where the local population of monkeys is a huge problem, where there are no
I
dogs.
agree.
Yes,
In fact,
Swayan,
you will
and the
see
discourse
in
is being
places where the
pushed by dog
population of
fearers.
monkey.
The discourse is being
Yes,
pushed by dog
in
fearers,
places
not
where
based
the
on
population
environmental
of monkeys
principles.
is proportionately high.
Everybody, since we've already established invasiveness of species.
Yeah, therefore
and
there is a
Indian
concept called
species
monkey
per capita
catcher
per land area. But
in
Abhay,
places like
I was hoping
Jaipur.
you to make that point. Can you make that point about the elephant in the room?
What's the elephant in the room?
Which point are you talking about?
Abrahamic mentality. Surely. why I only see Muslims hating on dogs.
No.
Completely missed.
Let me come in. Let me come in.
Okay, yeah.
Someone was talking about monkeys. There are places like Agra, Rajasthan,
Too many
Jaipur. There are too many monkeys. So there is a team called a team of monkey catcher. They catch monkeys. So it's not like monkey population is out of control and no one says anything. And monkeys are also very dangerous. They tear off people's faces. They sometimes
They are
मतलब
dangerous.
नोच
They are
लेते
not
चेहरा।
domestic animals. People don't have a problem with it, and
वो-
people with voices don't have a problem with it because they don't run into a monkey on their way to their office.
हाँ,
And if they do,
तो
the monkey also
उनको
runs away. They also run away.
जिससे- नहीं, पीपल को प्रॉब्लम है इसीलिए
हमारे घर में आता है मंकी, हमारे घर में आता है मंकी।
अरे ठीक है, आपके घर में आते पहले मैं पूरा कर लूं। राजस्थान और जो यूपी के पश्चिमी यूपी वाले इलाके, यहाँ तक कि अयोध्या में बहुत सारे बंदर थे। तो जब तक बंदर आपको हर्ट नहीं करते हैं उससे कोई इशू नहीं है, पर जब बंदरों की संख्या बहुत ज्यादा हो जाती है तो ये लोग बॉटल छीन के ले जाएंगे, कोई सोने का हार छीन के ले जाएंगे, कभी कुछ नोच डालेंगे, फाड़ देंगे। तो वो सब जब होने लगता है तो वहां पर एक मंकी कैचर करके एक स्क्वाड होता है जो मंकी को पकड़ते हैं जब बहुत ज्यादा उनकी संख्या बढ़ जाती है किसी इलाका में। तो वैसे ही अगर कुत्तों के साथ भी प्रॉब्लम होने लग गई, और ये देखो रात में जब सन्नाटा होता है ना और कुत्ते जब इकट्ठा होकर भौंकते हुए आते हैं ना, तो उस समय आप कभी 2 व्हीलर चला के देखिए, हाथ पैर कांपने लग जाते हैं। मेरे साथ एक घटना हो चुकी है इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ। अब मुझे नहीं पता कि उनको कौन टॉर्चर किया था या क्यों उनकी मानसिकता ऐसे। चोट तो मुझे लगी ना, मैं तो अपना बचाव करूंगा, या मेरा बच्चा अगर जाएगा, कोई मेरा छोटा बच्चा है बिल्डिंग का और उसको पैक ऑफ डॉग्स घेर लेते हैं, और घटनाएं ऐसे हुई है, हम आंख तो नहीं बंद कर सकते ना कि बच्चे को नोच के मार दिया। तो उस
कितने
समय
घटनाएं
आप ये
ऐसे
नहीं
हुई
बोल-
है, उसका फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या है और उस नेबरहुड का हिस्ट्री क्या है?
तो फिर तो हमको भी ये फ्रीक्वेंसी निकालना पड़ेगा कि कितने कुत्ते को मारा गया है।
हाँ, कुत्ते को
हम
मारा
लोग
जा रहा है,
क्या
उसका
कि
तो
देखिए,
फ्रीक्वेंसी बढ़ा है।
हम नहीं, वो आप ज्यादा उस ढंग के न्यूज को फॉलो करते हैं। अब कुछ
नहीं,
लोग जो एंटी डॉग है वो ज्यादा फॉलो करते हैं कि कुत्ते ने काट लिया या कुत्ते ने बच्चे को नोच लिया।
हाँ, ब्यूटीफुल। अगर
ठीक है।
कुत्ते को काट लिया भी, कुत्ते का ये काटने का इच्छा अचानक से विजय गोयल के बाद से कैसे जग गया?
नहीं, विजय गोयल के बाद से नहीं, ये पहले से ही हो रहा था। अब
हाँ,
विजय गोयल ने उसको एक इशू बना दिया, वो एक अलग विषय है।
तो
पर
न्यूज में कैसे
बात
बढ़ गया
वही है
विजय
कि-
गोयल बोलने के बाद?
बात इशू बढ़ नहीं गया, आप बोल रहे कुत्ते को मारने का इशू।
हाँ, फ्रीक्वेंसी नहीं, डॉग
हाँ।
अटैक्स ऑन ह्यूमंस भी विजय गोयल के बोलने के बाद कैसे बढ़ गया न्यूज में?
नहीं, मैं उस दृष्टि से नहीं बोल रहा हूँ। कुत्ते ह्यूमंस को अटैक करते हैं, ये पहले से ही हो रहा है। अब विजय गोयल ने उसको बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोला, इसीलिए वो इशू के बारे में लोग और ज्यादा बात कर रहे हैं, वो हो सकता है। पर ऐसा नहीं था कि पहले कुत्तों का अटैक नहीं होता था। ठीक है, कुत्ते का अटैक होता है, ऐसे बहुत सारी घटनाएं जहां बच्चों को नोच लिया गया, तो वो उससे भी हमें बचना है। अब ऐसे क्या होता है ना कि बहुत बार जो लोग सड़क में कुत्ते को खिलाते हैं तो वहां पर कुत्ते इकट्ठा होने लगते हैं। तो जब ह्यूमंस चल रहे होते, गाड़ी वाड़ी चल रही होते, तब कुत्ते उतना नहीं करते। पर जब सन्नाटा होता है रात को, या कभी उस इलाके में सन्नाटा होता है और जब कुत्ते इकट्ठा होता है, एक या दो व्यक्ति चल रहा होता है या छोटा बच्चा चल रहा होता है, तब वो एग्रेसिव होते हैं। ये मैंने देखा है।
नहीं, वो भी तो अग्रेसिव लगता है अगर तुमको कुत्ते से डर लगता है, इसलिए whenever I see a pack of dogs I get happy.
भाई,
So why should your fear be prioritized over my love for dogs?
वो नोच लेंगे, उसमें डर लगता है क्योंकि मैं
मुझे तो 35 सालों में नहीं नोचा।
क्योंकि आप कुत्ते को पाले हुए हैं ना, आप कुत्ते को पाले हुए हैं, आपकी
मैंने कुत्ते
पर्सनालिटी
पालना
ऐसी
शुरू किया
होगी।
2011 में जब
Okay.
मेरा 20 साल उम्र था, तब मैंने पालना शुरू किया। तब
और उससे पहले से ही
पहले
आपके
20 साल
आपके-
मेरे घर में कुत्ते ही नहीं थे।
और उससे पहले से ही कुत्ते आपके साथ ऐसे अच्छे से घुलते मिलते थे।
Yes, forever. हाँ, I have been a dog lover. Everyone in my family, friends circle, everyone is a dog lover. None of them have dogs in their homes. 2 or 3 do.
हाँ
That's
ठीक
just
है,
a
मतलब
personality trait for some people. I'm saying, why should your fear for dogs be prioritized over my love for dogs?
इट डजेंट मैटर। आपका लव अपनी जगह, दूसरे का फियर अपनी जगह। बात फियर का नहीं है, बात सिक्योरिटी
Yes.
का है।
Therefore, ultimately,
बात-
coexistence is the
fear-
point.
नहीं,
You
बात
stay away
फियर का
from dogs,
नहीं।
I'll go towards dogs.
नहीं, अब बात वही है कि फिर मैं कह रहा हूँ बात फियर का नहीं है, बात सिक्योरिटी का है। मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कुत्ते को मार दो, ठीक है, आपका लव है, आप अपने घर में पालिए, पर आप स्ट्रीट में रख रहे हैं, उसमें से कुत्ते एक भी बच्चे की जान ले ले, वो नहीं होने दिया जा सकता।
तो सारे ड्राइवर्स को हम घर में क्यों नहीं रखते? क्योंकि गाड़ियों से भी बहुत लोग मरते हैं। सारे ड्राइवर्स को हम घर पे रखेंगे, सारे गाड़ियों को हम घर पे रखेंगे, क्योंकि एक्सीडेंट्स में बहुत लोग
जेल में डाला जाता है ना, उनको जेल में डाला जाता है।
नहीं, जेल में तो
को भी जेल में डालो,
जेल में तो
कुत्तों को
उस ड्राइवर को डालोगे, जेल में तो उस ड्राइवर को डालोगे जिसने एक्सीडेंट किया है, हर ड्राइवर को तो नहीं डालोगे। तो जिस कुत्ते ने कुछ नहीं किया है वो कुत्ता क्यों शेल्टर में जाएगा?
Again, so that we can further the thing with an argument, I would say, is it fair to assume that, Dada, you're trying to say is that the dog can recognize the emotional instinct of the human being by looking at the human being?
No. In neighborhoods where they usually get love, they think that everyone will love them. Therefore, they run towards dog fearers as well, thinking that they are dog lovers. Which is why I had to adopt Max Weber, because 3 women in the entire neighborhood was afraid of him, because he used to go ask for pets for each and everybody, because that's how he grew up. Then he was abandoned in my neighborhood.
Right. So, but obviously a dog fearer is fearing for different reasons. Either it is irrationality from whatever your religion or cult says, or it is just some instinct that you can't quite put into words. That is fair to say, Abhay?
Look, as far as I am concerned, it's just not instinct. Dogs have chased me when I was driving a two-wheeler, and it has led to accidents. So it's not just instinct. It's also experience.
My point is that the instinct has developed because of an amalgamation of experiences.
Sorry?
Your instinct has developed because of an amalgamation of experiences.
Yeah, so it is equally valid for dog lovers also, no?
Yeah, exactly.
They are also talking on the basis of their experience. That's the point.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just trying to establish that we want to distill it so that we can. There is a clear line in the sand here. Sorry, Shreyan, just give me 1 second. So, would it be fair to say is that the debate here is clearly down to key. The dog is not trying to attack you when it's looking at you, versus you are thinking that the dog is going to attack you, or you are. That's the kind of the point here.
The point is the dog is unpredictable.
Okay, unpredictable. Thank you. Sorry, that's a better word to use. Yes.
Okay. The dog's mood is unpredictable. It's very difficult to predict how the dog will behave. Like, we don't have a problem with cats. We don't have a problem with other animals on street. Why is dog the issue? We have to wonder about it. Why don't people kill cats the way they do with dogs? जो अत्याचार कुत्तों पर होता है बिल्लियों पर क्यों नहीं होता? या बिल्ली का हम क्यों नहीं सुनते कि होता था पर अब नहीं होता है?
यूरोप में बहुत होता था
यूरोप में। पर मैं भारत की बात करूं तो यहाँ पर बिल्लियों को कोई उतना अत्याचार नहीं करता
because cats run away from animals. Because cats run away from animals. They don't run to humans. Dogs run to humans. Cats run away from humans. The fundamental negotiation between the adult with the human and the thing are different.
Yeah. Therefore,
the cat and the dog.
Therefore, there is less conflict between man and cat than there is between man and dog, and also there is more love between man and dog.
No. Also, let's be very clear. All dogs worldwide have to be trained to live comfortably with humans. Most of the time, 90% of the time, any dog in the house, if it is not trained, even one of the evolved breeds, if they're not trained, they always create some kind of negative behavior. That after at some point the owners take them to get trained. The dogs we have in our streets are untrained, like literally just live on their instincts. Yes, if you feed them, they may not bite you, but they may bite someone who doesn't feed them. Someone who's not fed them for a long time, they don't acknowledge them as a person.
I feel sorry for you. Which neighborhood dog gets fed and then bites someone else? Name this neighborhood. I'll quit my channel.
They've already bit many people in Delhi. Why is so many people so pissed in Delhi then?
In fun. Particular neighborhood, people did not used to feed that dog. That dog was happily fed by others and then went on to bite someone else.
They may not bite the person who fed them, but they may bite people. Other people do that. They have not fed them.
Name that neighborhood.
Yes. They have so many places. My mother's neighborhood, the Mysore, that dog is almost bitten my mother. What are you talking about?
That dog gets fed by other people.
Yes, she comes from,
How is
I
that
don't know,
possible?
somewhere else she comes.
What's
That lady
the
comes
source
from
of that
somewhere.
anger?
Wait, let me finish. She comes from
What's the
so
source of
far, I
that
don't know where
anger?
she comes from. Let me finish. She comes from
Yeah.
far away, I don't know where, and she comes near our
Yeah.
house to feed the dog.
Hmm.
And she doesn't even live near where the dogs are.
Then
But why
where
does
does that dog get that pointless aggression? What's the source of
Because
that
I
pointless
don't
aggression?
know. I
It is
don't know.
mysteriously low.
I go and
Why is it mysteriously low?
interview the dog, right? I interview the dog saying,
Yes,
"Hey, dog, why did you bite?"
Why does
Okay,
it
I'm
happen
sorry.
in
This is nonsense argument. Nonsense
Why is it
argument. Nonsense
mysteriously
argument.
low? Why is it
It's a
mysteriously low?
nonsense
Why does it
argument.
happen only in your neighborhood?
No, no,
It's a
no.
nonsense
It doesn't
argument.
even happen in your
Actually,
neighborhood.
Dada,
It happens in
It's a
honestly,
nonsense
Dada,
argument.
Dada,
Nonsense argument.
Dada, Dada,
It's a nonsense
this can
argument.
be
less in numbers. Why
This is
is there
nonsense
numbers?
argument.
the
Why
same
is
This is
argument.
nonsense argument.
What's the mystery behind the
Dada,
low number of it? What's the mystery
I
behind the
don't
low
know.
numbers of such incidents? Why
What low
don't you know?
numbers?
Then you have a stance on it. Low numbers
No,
of
no.
this insanity that a fed
It's
dog
happening
who
in
is happily
Delhi.
fed by
Why
someone
this
else-
aggressive?
Why are you getting to Delhi repeatedly? Because Delhi is a shithole for many other reasons. Why you were just discussing your grandmother?
Because
Did that happen
Delhi
in
is the
Delhi or
highest
Mysore?
density of dogs right now. The
What
issue is
happened to
happening.
Mysore? What's the issue in Mysore
What?
then?
What is happening with Mysore? My point
What
is that
happened to your
the
grandmother?
dogs are aggressive in that region. What grandmother? My
What happened to
mother.
Mysore?
She's scared of
Why is
dogs.
your grandmother?
She's scared of
how did
dogs.
that
She can't
dog-
walk in the street because of them.
Just because she is scared, the dog doesn't bite her. The dog bites and aggressively goes towards her.
I'm
Then
sorry.
since it's still
Everyone
in-
has rights, not
for
just
what
you
reason?
to feed dogs.
No.
You're the only one who has rights to feed dogs and enjoy the
There
road.
are no rights for
Everyone has no right
cowards.
to enjoy the
The
road.
point is why is
What
it happening
what do
only
you mean
there?
no cowards? Why can't you be
Yeah.
cowards in this world?
Just
Only you can survive
just
happily.
because someone fears a
What
dog does not
ridiculous
mean the dog
standard
goes
is
and
this?
bites them.
I'm sorry.
Why is the number
ridiculous
for
standard is
why is
this?
the number for that so low?
No,
Why is
no.
the number
Who
for
are
such
you
a crazy
decide?
situation so low?
Who are you
Give me
deciding
the
the road
numbers.
to be owned by the
Numbers.
dog, not by human
Give
beings?
me the numbers of how many
What
dogs are
ridiculous?
well fed and then
What
still go bite
libertarian are
someone
you?
else.
What
Which
libertarian are
dog
you?
bites someone? Which dog
There's no
bites? Which dog
libertarianism.
bites someone? Which
Nonsense.
well-fed dog bites someone
This is
else?
a communist.
Which well-fed dog bites
The
someone else?
communist of
Then tell
dogs.
me why don't
No,
all
no.
house dogs bite
This is
someone else?
communism of dogs.
How do well-fed
Dogs will decide where everyone will
how do
walk.
well-fed dogs how do well-fed dogs eat someone?
Dogs will.
How do
what?
well you have only humor to
Baba,
rely upon?
Baba.
How does
Let-
well-fed dogs
let
bite
me
someone
break
and why is
this-
the number of such
let me
idiotic
break this
incidents so
shouting
low?
match.
Why
They can
is
bite for
the
any
incidence
reason.
of
Let
They
me
can bite
break
for any
this
reason.
shouting match.
They can. How do you know? Interview the dog.
Shouting match.
Go interview the dog.
Then why are the numbers so low?
I
Then why are the
understand the
numbers so low
argument.
if they can
I don't
no, why are the
understand.
numbers so low if they can bite anyone for any reason? Why are the numbers of that insanity so low? Why are the
It is not
numbers of that
low.
insanity so low?
It is not low.
How is
Who
it
is
low?
reporting it? Who is reporting
How
this?
many people
Who
get
is
bitten by
reporting
dogs?
this?
How many people get bitten by
No.
dogs? How many
Who is
people get
reporting
bitten by
this?
dogs in the first place?
Who is
How many people
reporting?
get bitten by
Arey,
dogs
who's
in the
rep-
first place?
Arey,
How
who's
many people
report-
get bitten by dogs in the
Are you
first
listening
place?
or not? Are you going to keep interrupting
How
me?
many people get bitten by
Are
dogs
you
in
going
the
to
first
keep
place?
interrupting me?
After that,
Answer my
are
question
you-
first. Who's
How many
reporting?
people get bitten by dogs in the
Who
first
is
place? And after
reporting
that, how
this?
many of those
No,
dogs are well fed?
I knew
No,
you were.
listen to my question. Listen to my question.
No, I
How
heard
many
your
people
question.
get
Your
bitten by
question
dogs in
is
the first-
false.
No, listen to my question.
It is false.
How many
It is
people get
false.
bitten by
I
dogs?
heard your
How many
question.
people get-
It is false.
No, you haven't heard this question.
No,
What-
it's not.
what-
I can't
what-
answer your question.
Calm down,
Because
calm
your
down.
question is based on wrong
How can a
premise.
question be false?
Both of you
Your
are-
question is
What's my
based on
premise?
wrong
My
premise.
Please.
Your premise
No.
is that dogs bite for
This is
mysterious
getting
reasons.
heated
If
up.
dogs
No.
bite for mysterious
My
reasons,
point is-
why doesn't
my
that
point-
happen in higher numbers?
Both
How
of
many
Will you
people
let me
do
answer
dogs
or are
bite
you going to keep
someone?
interrupting me?
No. I'll finish my
I'm
question
worried.
first because you haven't heard the second part of my question. First part is how many dogs bite someone in the first place? What is the population of that? Secondly, how many of dogs are well fed? Because you have come up with the mysterious insanity that well fed dogs are also crazy enough to bite someone for absolutely no reason. That absolutely no reason, well fed dogs biting. What's the number for that? And if dogs bite for no fucking reason, why is the number for this so low? Anybody can answer it.
No, I want to answer it because you're targeting me.
Let
Okay?
Anand answer.
No, you're
Let
targeting the
Anand
fact.
answer. Let
Let me
Anand
finish.
answer.
Let me finish. First of all, the premise of how many dogs are what have been told to bite. Who is reporting this data? Don't you know reporting this data? People who are bites on
Collecting all
this.
data.
No, let
People
me
who are
finish.
collecting all data. The
I
people who are
listen
collecting all
to
data.
you.
Government
I
hospitals.
listen to
Government
you.
hospitals.
Let me finish.
You're pretending
Let
like
me
no one
finish.
collects data.
Let
Are
me
they
finish.
ignorant or not? Are they getting
Let
data
me-
from you? They are getting data from where
let Anand
everyone else
finish.
gets data.
Nirajanda, let Anand finish. Then we can take this discussion forward. I know you
So
are
the premise is
emotional
that
about
there is
this
no
issue.
data. His premise is that there is no data apparently.
I know people are the dog lovers here,
this is why-
but let
because-
Anand complete his
Yeah.
answer. Let him
Let Anand
complete his answer. We should
uninterrupted.
listen
Please,
to him
yeah, Anand,
patiently.
please go, yeah.
Anand,
Anand has boycotted us.
Anand, please answer.
Anand, sorry, please. Salpa.
No one will interrupt you.
This is the problem. When you frame the person as the other in your discussion, you will never come to a conclusion. My point is, there is no objective measure of dog bites in India. The only people who are reporting it either are government entities who are you yourself have said, they're incompetent MFs or dog lovers, animal lovers. The data is not conclusive in either way. I'm telling you, the reason I'm giving this example is because certain people in this society do not have the courage to face dogs. You have to accept the fact that they have a right to the society as well, just as much as the dog has a right to society.
Their right does not impede on the rights of the dog to be alive in his neighborhood.
If you let me finish, I will talk. If you want to talk, you can talk. I have no problem. Here's your platform.
Why can't I chime in when I
No, you're not chiming. You're not chiming. It's not a bullshit argument.
I chimed in and I'm chiming in.
Let Anand talk.
The point is, dog lovers, instead of trying to mitigate the problem, they don't care about the problem. They're like, I don't care. I want to make myself feel better and feed these dogs wherever the hell I feel like it. There's no responsibility. Self-responsibility. It's like you live in a society where you know there are people who might hurt your dogs if they get aggressive enough. You know that there's a society where there are people who are scared of dogs, terrified of dogs for irrational reasons. Yes, it's irrational. Fear is irrational. But it means they can't live around, they can't walk in their own bloody road, the road outside their house. They pay taxes for. You pay
because
taxes to it doesn't matter if it's irrational, bhai. They're paying the taxes, they're living in this country. You can't say, okay, I will take away your rights because I've decided this right is primacy over other rights. Then you're like, okay, then basically you're like communists. Communists have decided that certain rights are subservient to every other right for the society has. The communists decided you can't make money beyond a certain point. You're a rich man, I will eat the rich. They can also make the same argument then. Look at the rich, the horrible things they're doing to the rest of us. Get rid of the rich.
What if you have an irrational fear of rich people?
Yes, that's my point. So my point is, the communists fear is irrational, right? But what is your solution? Your solution is not to get rid of the communists. We can throw them out of the country now, can we? We provide rules where we can all negotiate our living in this country. I'm saying create a negotiated settlement. Why is this extreme always? Either it's a Vijay Goel extreme to kill all the dogs, or it's like, oh, I'm sorry, how can you tell us where to have the dog? It can't be the extreme. I'm saying somewhere in the middle has to come. You have to get data.
The middle is unaffordable.
Acting out.
The middle is one tara for dogs. It's one tara for dogs.
It is not unaffordable. My point is that based on the number of dogs in the region, any extra numbers, you have to get them out of the city for their own benefit and for ours. And the dogs within your locality which you are feeding, if you care so much about the dog, train them on basic cues. If someone's scared of you, train them on the fact that something's scared of you, don't run towards them. You can do that. You really love the dog, train them on the dog. Train the dog, no? Use your feeding, your habits and patterns and train the dog. You love the dog so much, but you won't do that effort of training the dog to not get into conflict with human beings. But no, I don't want to do any work. I don't come, some random lady will come, she'll get a large pot of meat, she'll just dump it on the road there. She won't even give it in nice bottles, places that the dog can eat without getting dirty. Just dump it on the road and disappear. She won't even stay there and pet the dog. Just feed and leave. I've noticed most animal lovers do. They don't even spend time with the bloody dog. You love the dog so much, but you don't spend time with it.
Because that person feeds 500 dogs a day. She can't pet 500 dogs a day.
Well, you have to. They don't love 500 dogs. It's like a
hundred out of those 500 dogs will go hungry. No. Those 100 dogs need to be fed later.
I heard your point. Let me rebut your point. It's like someone coming from another country saying, I have 10 kids. Government of India, look after my 10 kids. You'll be okay with that?
Out of those 500 dogs, the dogs which are not fed, they will get unfed.
Oh, come on. Seriously.
What? The food for them doesn't fall from the sky.
Answer my question. Will you say, okay, then come, the proper, have 10, 20 kids in our country. It's okay. You have a right, no. You're also human. Where you live. You have 10 kids. Do you not pay taxes for your kids?
When was it not okay?
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Fertility rate.
Okay, I'm against that. I'm against the fact that it's an unsustainable society, both for animals or humans.
That's
saw
a
the right
larger
thing.
discussion.
To
That
sustain,
has
would it be
nothing to
fair
do
to
with
say,
today's policies.
It is the same
just
thing.
to-
It is the
just
same
to
concept.
contribute, just to
No.
say, just to create some middle ground, would it be fair to say that to sustain this further, a behavioral science sort of study being pushed by the CSK to understand this issue would be a fair thing that CSK can pursue? With the behavioral science indicating a good reference control, a good variation of breeds, health and no health, cage and no cage / tension environments, no tension environments. And if it's pushed at the right level, we come to the solution, not now, but maybe 3-4 years from now. But would that be fair to say? Because the behavioral science is crystal clear in that, at least this is one contribution that I've observed in the UK, is that there are dogs that assist blind people to cross the road, that what do you call it, guide dogs or help dogs, I don't know what they're called. They're good dogs that also are emotional support animals here for people who are coming PTSD from war and all of that. There are no known cases of them being violent and biting, unless it is that they've been neglected in a manner that is outside of the disabled person's sort of control, or the differently abled person's control. So the behavioral science aspect of dog in packs and their historic mistreatment, blah, 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 all this stuff, would it be fair to say that the conclusion from this is that the study, then the CSK Vanguard group can push this with these sort of scientific parameters?
If the issue was only behavior and not rabies, because the rabies data is all fudged. It comes from cats, bats, and monkeys.
Okay, yeah. To follow up, we are is everybody in agreement that with not just Anand's statement but Dada's statement that the data points themselves are fudged for different reasons?
Yeah, obviously.
It's not really fudged, they are kind of statistical fallacies.
Yeah, it's statistical fallacies slash fudging slash this one. Yeah, bit of everything. Inaccurate data profiling.
Yeah, yeah.
We have a
inaccurate data
state.
classification.
We have a state that does not look to gather good quality data.
Yeah,
that's just a reality.
Thank you. That's
right?
a reality. That's a reality. Yeah.
We take data based on what are bias. For example, the guy who's the local municipal guy who's tracking numbers in that area. He's tracking numbers based on what his bias is. He's not following an SOP that's been provided to him.
Yes.
This SOP I have, I'll just track it.
May I just
Same thing with tree numbers. Same thing with the amount of drains. Nothing. No one tracks data based on anything that's a proper SOP. They track it because they feel like it. Oh, this person came and cried to me about the road. Okay, now I'll go track the data about the drain. This person in my area came and cried to me about this dog biting me. Then I will go check whether the dog bite data is accurate or not.
Yeah.
They don't know. No one knows. Like whatever dog bite data is, like because some people decided they are like so upset by the dog biting, they'll go report it.
Yeah.
No, normally in India, when someone goes to an authority and reports something, it's like last minute. Like after it's happened to them 20 times, they're like, oh shit, I can't take this anymore. I got to go report it. Or not that one person, maybe the locality is like, oh shit, we can't take it anymore. It's so scary. Initially they go to a doctor and just get tetanus shot. That's it. They will do. They won't go say anything also. Like I will not say anything if I got bitten by a dog. I'm like, oh, it bit me. Okay, so what? I'll go tetanus shot and go home. I won't even bother most of the time. Like most human beings won't bother. In Indians especially. So my point is we need good quality data. And if the data doesn't bear out my argument,
I think
if it doesn't bear out my argument, then you have a new strategy. But at this point of time, we are having so much conflict. Why is this becoming a topic of discussion? And I feel sad for the dogs that are being targeted. Because they're being targeted because it's hate. Because we are not doing our duty to reduce this conflict.
The hate is spread by people who fear. The hate is spread by people who fear dogs and believe the world belongs to them.
No.
And believe in fairy tales like dogs become aggressive for no reason.
Okay.
No, that's not the hate. I'm sorry. That's not fair. You're saying I spread hate.
Shan, come in, please.
This is not fair.
Shan,
not fair.
Sorry.
Yeah. See, simply, I would disagree partly with both of the views being presented over here. Now, look. You cannot exactly segregate as to how a person would involuntarily react when he sees a dog. If the case proposed by any of the sides is that a dog can sense what your intuition or what your reaction to it being seen is, one cannot voluntarily regulate that, which is exactly why dogs were a very good source of detecting thieves earlier. It's not because they were unfamiliar beings. It's because these unfamiliar beings... Yeah, when this unfamiliar beings
That's
see
a
these dogs which they are
fallacy.
not
That's a
familiar
high.
with,
That's a fallacy. I don't know where this this
Let
came
me-
from.
let-
We can rebuttal.
Where
Yeah.
this come from? These
Let
thieves.
Shrayan
Where's the
speak.
data for this?
Anand,
Where's this data with our thieves? If they don't catch
Anand, 1
thieves.
minute. Let's try and finish. Yeah,
Anand,
let's try
Anand,
and finish. He's making a
let
point
Shrayan make his point,
that
and then
deserves
you
a rebuttal
can
from you. Yeah.
then you can report it.
Thanks, Abhay. Sorry, yeah. Sorry for interrupting.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm not certifying the fact that they were good in catching thieves. As a matter of fact, if they are so good in catching thieves, people would invest in dogs and not police. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying is the involuntary reaction a person that is generated in a person on seeing an unfamiliar dog cannot be regulated. So therefore, a state must act on the propensity of risk and not actual incidents. You cannot really frame your policies based on incidences that have already occurred. Now, my second point is the easiest way to actually track which dogs are violent is using of colored bands. This is something that is used in several parts of the globe. Look, dogs are territorial animals. There are only so many dogs in your locality and they do not shift their localities every week. So the only way or the simplest way to go about it is use colored bands, preferably choose fluorescent or primary colors and mark them so that at least you can segregate which dogs are violent. If your reason is that these dogs are perennially violent, then much before an incident actually occurs, you can, let's say, track it down from their behavior. If your point is that these dogs, one sudden day when berserk and bit a person, then the cause is very clear. Something external must have happened with them which provoked them to do it. So from there, you will have a very clear segregation of whether this is driven from a longer period of time, or was it a sudden incident in response to an external stimulus. Now, how difficult is it for the municipality to choose one observer in every locality who report to the local councillor or the local authorities involved? You are not having to do it on a state basis or nationally, because your dogs are not going to shift localities every 2 weeks. They are there for years in one locality where they live. So I do not know how is the data a bottleneck. I believe the intent is the bottleneck over here. Secondly, the point
And
is,
you
why are people shying?
cut out when you said what was the bottleneck. The intent was the bottleneck?
The intent is the bottleneck. You are saying that the data is the bottleneck. The data is not the bottleneck because the methodology is goddamn easy. You are just not doing it. How difficult it is to allot 10 different colors to 10 dogs of your locality and just track which dog is showing violent behavior on a regular basis. It should not be difficult. Are you blind or what? You cannot see which dog is barking at you on a regular basis, which dog is growling whenever it sees a human being, and which dog is good and one of a sudden day goes and, let's say, bites someone. That
Bro,
cannot
if
be
a
an
stray
argument.
dog growls at you for no reason, it means you run. Get that dog vaccinated or removed to a shelter. That particular dog needs to be removed. A dog is not supposed to
I'll come to
growl at
that
you for
point.
no reason.
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
come to
guys,
that point.
this is
Secondly,
fantastic. Shrayan, once you complete, we have achieved a fantastic middle ground. Shrayan, please complete first.
secondly, it is a fact that dogs which are not neutered turned out to be more aggressive because they channelize their sexual energy towards other causes. So, a lot of times it can be, let's say, a symptom of something external that is wrong with them, and they need proper medication and, let's say, a veterinary surgeon's appointment to put it in the best possible way. Thirdly, why are we let's say, undermining the fact that this is not a one-day problem? It has accumulated itself over several years because the funds that were being allotted to the municipality were not being used for the purposes they were to be used. These dogs have, and once again, I would also question this logistical argument. Today, you are saying that dogs which are excess in population in compared to the human population around them need to be shifted. How do you demarcate which are those dogs? Let's say we shift 5 dogs and one of the remaining 6 dogs turn violent. Then what would be your next natural instinct? In ko bhi hata do. That is how you go about that. So why not over a period of, let's say, one? Because see, when did the Supreme Court judgment even come out? That was also 6 months ago. उसके बाद भी 6 महीने बीत गया, कुछ हुआ नहीं काम का. तो अगले 1-2 महीने में you make the intent, you give the command and check the behavior of these dogs which are violent and which are not. Dogs do not turn violent overnight. And if you are saying all dogs are equally violent, that's a bad straw man. Let's just say that's a bad straw man. So that's what I'm saying. It is not the responsibility of the government to make a national or, let's say, city-based survey of dogs. It is a locality-based survey which can be done by individual systems.
No, I never said all dogs are equally violent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who said
that's
this,
what
by the
I'm
way?
saying. Since we cannot ascertain all dogs are equally violent, why not trying to find out which dogs have the greater propensity to be violent? Because the other solution is, if you do not go for the behavioral check, you believe that all dogs need to be removed. Secondly, any time you put an artificial involvement in removing a species completely from a circumstance or ecosystem, it creates inevitable problems which now you cannot
Again,
fathom, but you will sooner or later.
again, no one is suggesting removing them completely from the ecosystem. The point is, our cities have
That
overpopulation of dogs. That is the reality, and we have to face it.
Yes, that's what
If we
I'm
do
saying.
not face it,
Overpopulation of dogs. So, which dogs do you
include
ship?
cats,
Is a
The
of
problem
cats,
is
of
the
crows, of pigeons, of certain species that do not self-regulate, do not have natural predators. They have become rats, bandicoots. We are not doing anything about these populations. We are the most
yeah.
uncaring
So that's a
of
legit
what
problem.
you call nature's gardeners.
I agree. In fact, an overpopulation of pigeon is a serious risk because it causes several respiratory diseases. Their particulate matter does. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if the narrative needs to be changed after the action is being taken, but the action has to be targeted. How do you decide which dogs should be shifted?
But
Once
the
again,
animal
where is
lovers
your
need to
risk
do
analysis? If
animal
you have not,
the animals the animal lovers who experience on regular basis handle these animals, who feed these animals, should be doing their part. Why can't you
They
observe?
do
Why can't
that.
the
should
municipal?
be,
For
they
the
should be,
vaccinations are spaying and neutering. That's
which
paid
is
for by
why,
animal lovers and dog feeders.
one
They
second, one
spend their
second.
money on
Which is
feeding
why
as well as
I have
vaccination
been
and
saying
neutering.
it.
So then why
Which is
then
why
why haven't then why have the animal lovers in Delhi not been able to identify these dogs before they bit people? Answer that question.
Because those dogs were not identifiable, because those dogs had not even bitten them, because maybe those neighborhoods mysteriously don't have a feeder. Not all neighborhoods have feeders.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So how difficult
Maybe
is
is not a
it
maybe.
for a
How
municipal
rich do you think animal lovers are?
councillor
How many goes
to,
to the neighborhood?
how difficult is it?
Delhi seems to
No,
have a
no.
lot, so I don't know.
Then there is one question here which comes up. Uh, is there a clear evidence that in whichever neighborhoods dogs are fed well, they don't bite, and in whichever neighborhoods dogs are not fed by the people or the human beings, they are aggressive? Is there a
No,
clear data or a
no.
clear
They
relationship
bite.
established
No,
between?
feeding is not an issue. They bite when they are repeatedly thrown stones at for years. Only then. And other kinds of torture.
So even if they
abuse.
are not fed,
Is that just
so
I don't know.
even if
I don't know about that.
Dada, so even if they are not fed, you mean to say that they don't bite even if they are not fed
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
people?
They'll be just
There
timid,
was one-
fearful dogs.
There was one lady in Delhi. She was just walking on the road. I saw the video. I remember the other lady is holding the leash of the big gigantic dog. Not even the street. Not even our street dogs. There's a breed. Okay.
Yeah.
Randomly just attacks the lady.
Or must
Just
be
turns on and
next
bites her.
Yeah.
She's not even talking to the dog. Not even looking at the dog. Just turns on and attacks her. So
Yeah.
why
And your premise is that
wait,
the
let me
difference
finish.
between your and my premise is, go ahead.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
I agree. There would be an external stimulus.
If
But
I was
animals-
speaking and I
yes.
was being interrupted and not allowed to complete.
Let me finish last point. I agree there's an external stimulus.
Let me
But the
just-
point is, human beings, all of us do not have the ability to figure out what the external stimulus is at any one point of time. We are also surviving, okay? The randomly one car can come and hit us. I can't be like, okay, oh, car is going to come and hit us, spidey sense, jump out of the way. I can't do that. Same with the dog. I can't suddenly, oh shit, the dog's going to attack me. Let me change my behavior. It is difficult. My point is, because of the fact we know dogs can attack, we should be careful and we should improve the chances that conflicts don't happen. Improve the chances, that's it. It may still happen, but it's our duty to reduce the chances of it happening. That's all.
Fair to say.
Sorry.
Try and you were incomplete. Try and go.
That is exactly what I'm trying to say. My entire point is, how difficult is it for a local councillor who controls every ward to put one observer in every ward and get the data in the next 2 months and then take the action? The problem is, if you don't do that, it boils down to one of those similar problems, right? Removing illegal immigrants, where you have removed a bunch of immigrants and half of them are not illegal. The population has gone down, but the problem has not been solved. So when you say you are going to remove the excess population of dogs, which population of which subset of that excess population do you want to remove? And if there are similar conditions perpetrating even after you have removed so many of the dogs, then the perception that dogs are harmful remains, and then the next line of thought would be sabko hata diya jaye, and then it would eventually once again go down to the part of massacre. If they were supposed to be neutered, where their private parts were supposed to be cut off, where was the lack of accountability that led the situation to be accumulated to such an extent that उनका गला ही काटना पड़ रहा है? आप उन फंड्स का क्या कर, फंड्स तो अलॉट हुए थे ना, तो उनको क्यों नहीं ठीक जगह पे इन्वेस्ट किया गया? एंड द प्रॉब्लम इज पीपल आर कंप्लीटली, ये तो वो वाली बात हो गई कि अब डॉग्स के मोडालिटी पे हम बात करेंगे, अब हम सोचेंगे ओवरमेंश ऑफ डॉग्स कहाँ है, डॉग्स के ऊपर नीचे का फिलोसफी लगाओ, नहीं तो कर सकते ना, नहीं देखना तो पड़ेगा कि ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन, तो ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन से कैसे इसको सॉल्व करना है? कोई उस मीनिंगफुल ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन की बात ही नहीं कर रहा। लोग सोच रहे कि डॉग्स काटते कि नहीं, अरे डॉग्स काटते हैं भी तो क्या कर लोगे तुम?
No, don't say the human who allowed this problem, the humans who allowed this problem to get so bad are definitely guilty for the fact that the dogs getting harmed today. Let's be very clear. No one is saying those people are not of blame. They are fully of blame. If they had fixed the problem with neutering the dogs earlier, the problem would not be as bad as it today. And in spite of the fact that the High Court has given the Supreme Court gave some verdicts in January, they have not done their duty. Vijay Goel, these people, BJP in Delhi have not done their job. It is very clear. I completely agree with Nirajana that this attitude of, we're just killing people, killing the dogs is more than enough. The problem will go away is not the solution. I agree with you there. But the problem is it needs to be working together, not against each other, right? So, for example, the people who are, and you're right. If a dog is aggressive because people are assaulting the dog, I am against those people, those horrible people who are attacking and like a poor dog that has no, this should not be attacked, right? There's horrible behavior to have. No, we should not encourage such people in our society. But my point is that at some point, we have to think about the other side as well. There are these young people, young kids on the roads who are getting attacked. And then at least you should go find these people and make it an election issue. That who are not managing the solution properly, who are not neutering early enough. That we should be our strategy.
Yeah, I am completely in agreement with that. You cannot ask a person to not be scared just like that. If a kid who is, let's say, 4 feet in height would obviously be more scared than a dog because he is in no position to actually fight with the dog if it by chance attacks him. So once again, it is the risk that scares him. It is not the actual incident that scares him. Na kaat liya to fir uske baad kya hi darna? Then you are struggling for your life. So we are talking about the fear which is driving the responses. So I am saying if that is the factor, let's do an analysis of what is causing this. 2 महीने के behavioral analysis से अगर आप ये नहीं track down कर सकते कि ये कैसे हुआ, ये तो shortlist कर सकते कि किन पे हो रहा है. तो do that at least. Don't expect there to be an overmention of dogs who is going to make the dogs superior in terms of morality. आपको intervention से करना है, आप करिए and get it managed.
That data, it will be with that data, we will be very able to decide what is even causing that aggression. What is the difference in these neighborhoods? What are the people in those neighborhoods doing to make those dogs aggressive?
So can I ask a question? Okay, now there are the whole bunch of people in Delhi. Let's just take Delhi only because clearly this is a Delhi-centric problem more than it's any other.
Why mysteriously, Anand, only overpopulation? Why did the overpopulation only happen in Delhi?
Kerala, Hyderabad, it's happening. Tamil Nadu, it's happening.
Few cities is really bad. My question very simply that, for example, your argument is very good that we should find out why these dogs get aggressive. So if you're the dog lover and you're fighting this case in court, right? Would you not say, okay, let me invest some extra, let's get all dog lovers and invest some money together, find out what is happening in this small region where this is happening. Let's find out and tell the court clearly, it is not the fault of the dog, someone is causing this problem. Instead of finding that reason, all they're doing is they're just protesting.
That's been done by Menka Guruswamy and Kapil Sibal. What do you think they're arguing on the basis of?
What is the argument?
On this basis.
What is the argument? Like what did they found? What did they found?
That whatever I said, practically, that
what?
dogs are not aggressive for no reason. You can't take them out of their territory and expect them to survive. It's all cruelty. No, I'm saying, it was the irresponsibility of the government anyway.
No. That's all generic shit. I'm saying in that particular locality where this dog bites happened, have they found out the reason why the dog bite happened? What is the situation there?
Okay,
Only
so
hypothetically.
They have not. That's my point.
This is a
Yes,
quick follow-up.
yes.
Anand, everybody, we are all in agreement now. We are finally in. Everybody is on
Yes,
agreement.
yes,
It's
and I
a quick
agree.
follow-up from Sayan as well.
These passionate dog lovers should actually reach out to the municipal corporation councillors and say
They
we
have been
want to
doing
be a
that
part of this process.
for
And
years.
at the
They
same
have
time,
been doing exactly that
I
for years. If the
understand. And
municipality,
at the
municipality
same
did not
time,
listen to them, then they started spending on
exactly,
neutering
that's what I'm
themselves.
trying to say. At the same time, if you do
I
want
think
some form of
I
action from the
think
higher authorities, it should come to the municipal corporations from the
I
party
think
top boss that do listen to these dog lovers because they are the natives who have experience in this domain. Take their advices, don't take them as someone from outside the system, so their opinions are not
Can
worth anything.
I think
Get that
I
can I
done
ask
think
a
from
word?
higher order.
both sides should have input. Okay,
No.
let there be dog lovers. Okay, just one point. Let there be dog lovers who run certain NGOs who can do this study along with the municipal corporation, and you take the dog fearers, like people who are afraid of dogs, into confidence. You cannot just dismiss their concern that their fear is irrational. That would be unfair to them. So take them
No.
into confidence and say कि हम लोग यहाँ एक रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, आप लोग भी आकर देखिए, हम नहीं चाहते आपको अलग 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 थलग करना.
Let me take it even
हम लोग
further.
म्युनिसिपल
Let me take-
कॉर्पोरेशन को भी. हाँ,
Let me take it even
बोलिए.
further. Let's so that, for example, like you're saying the municipal corporation didn't listen, right? What that is clear negligence. There is clear negligence of the situation that the citizens of that municipal region have been raising. That we have a problem with dogs. These people have clearly enough money to pay for Kapil Sibal and Menika Guruswamy. Run a campaign against the municipal councillor.
Exactly.
Go to the location. Run a campaign against the municipal councillor. Say,
I
look at
think-
this municipal councillor. He doesn't care about your fact that you're having conflict with dogs. All he's doing is killing
Urgency
the
is
dog
to
and destroying
prevent
the
Supreme
problem.
Court's decisions from harming dogs. The urgency is with that, so the money will right now be spent on Kapil Sibal and Menika Guruswamy.
Arey,
Because the studies
that's
are
my
not
point.
ongoing.
No, I think it's more about just trading Hawa and getting eyeballs. You really
Just
care about the dogs, you go and get it.
talk points.
That municipal councillor needs to be
Just
fired.
really
just
care,
That
one
municipal
point.
councillor gets
in-
fired, you have
in
Just
achieved it.
one point.
No, you save
Just
all the
one
dogs in that
point.
locality. You go up that municipal
Just one
councillor.
point.
Right?
Just one point. When you are arguing to the Supreme Court, okay, when you are arguing in front of the Supreme Court, तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इस आधार पर वो जजमेंट दिया क्योंकि डॉग्स हार्मफुल होते हैं. ओके, अभी तक यही सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने उन्होंने जो जजमेंट दिया यही है कि कुत्ते बड़े हार्मफुल होते हैं तो इनको हटाओ. ठीक है, तो आप अपनी ओर से ये आर्ग्यू कर सकते हैं कि म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन इनकॉम्पिटेंट है. यहाँ पे कुत्तों की गलती नहीं है.
Yes.
म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन
वही
ने ठीक से
argument है
मैनेज
भाई.
नहीं किया है.
Animal lovers are
वही-
making this exact same argument. Kapil
ठीक
Sibal,
है.
Menika Guruswamy are making this exact same
और
argument.
उसके लिए
Have
जो
they-
डेटा चाहिए उसके और उसके लिए जो डेटा चाहिए, खाली आप ये आर्गुमेंट देकर नहीं कर सकते. उसके लिए प्रॉपर डेटा और स्टडीज चाहिए. उसमें जो डॉग लवर एनजीओज है वो और जो डॉग से अफ्रेड है वो मिल करके एक स्टडी होना चाहिए कोई गवर्नमेंट बॉडी के साथ. वो रिपोर्ट पेश करके बोलना चाहिए देखो ये म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन ने ढंग से काम नहीं किया, जो ऑफिसर ने अपना काम पूरा नहीं किया उनको सैक करो.
अरे
क्यों नहीं किया?
एक टाउन हॉल किया है उस जोन लोकेलिटीज में. Have they done one town hall saying let's get together and see what the problem is? You look at Erin Brockovich, that water thing, the movie Erin Brockovich movie. What did they do? She went to every person's house and talked to them. Let's get together. Let's form a group together and tackle this issue. She took the effort into it. She had no money. She got fired from her job and everything.
Since dog rescuers and animal lovers and animal rights people have not woken up to this problem just 2 months back, unlike Vijay Goel, therefore they have been pursuing everything y'all are demanding from animal lovers anyway. That's what they are spending their money on. Right now they are hiring Kapil Sibal and Menika Guruswamy because of the urgency in the escalation created by Vijay Goel and Supreme Court.
Where have they pursued it?
1 minute. No.
The neutering and adoption, the million mails to ABC has been for exactly what you are proposing.
Productive conclusion.
No, I'm not proposing anything. I'm saying, have they gone to the locality and talked to the people in that region?
Now
Have
it's
they
not the
treated
time
them like
for
human
that.
beings?
Now is not the time
It
for
is
that
always
because
been
Vijay
like
Goel
that.
has
What now?
escalated it. No.
Dada,
What about
If
then?
you didn't have
What
to
about
spend money
then?
on Kapil Sibal and
What
Menika
about
Guruswamy,
then?
then that would be the
Dada,
time.
What about then?
Yeah,
What about for?
Then has been going on with their own money spent on neutering and vaccination. That's what's
No,
been
I'm
gone
just
on.
talking. Array, have they gone to the location
Dada,
that is happening?
this one thing dog
Where have
lovers
they done
can
the
do.
spaying and
Oh,
neutering?
come on.
Have they done the spaying and
Hey,
neutering
they're
in
repeating
heaven?
the same thing again.
Where
Just
have
repeating
they done the
again
spaying
and
and
again.
neutering then? Yes, where have they done the vaccinations, do you think? In heaven, in some
No,
parallel universe. They have done it in those neighborhoods only.
you're repeating again and again now the same point.
Yeah, because it's
My
not
point
getting
is,
into your head.
what
The point
I
is
have gotten
that
the point. You're just asserting
no,
something. I'm
no,
asking a
you are
different
saying
question.
that why haven't the
You're
animal
talking
lovers
past
done
me.
something mysterious? Why haven't the animal lovers done something that they have been doing for years?
They have not talked to the populations. They have not. I'm sorry.
Because
Just
they
like
have
you
been
said,
solving it
I
on
don't
with
care.
their own money.
I don't care.
They have been solving the
Your
problem
mother
with
is a
their own
coward.
money.
Your mother is a
They have
coward. He can't
they
handle
have
the
been
coward.
solving the problem
That's
with
the
their own
attitude
money.
they have.
They
That's
have
the
been
attitude they
solving
have.
their
People are
problem with their own
cowards.
money.
Dada,
I
They
don't
have been
care
solving
about
the
the cowards.
problem with their
Dada,
own money. That's why they can say
They
that.
have
Yes,
no.
they have been
They
solving the
have
problem with
solved
their
any
own
problem.
money.
They have
They
solved
have
no
been solving.
problem.
No, there
No,
are
they have
not
not.
just that much animal lovers in the country who
They have
spend on
not
dogs
solved the
only.
problem.
No, they have
They
not
have
solved.
not
Yes,
solved the
they are
problem.
only spending on it
Dada,
whatever they can. How will they
Abhay
solve the
wants to say
problem?
something.
How can they
You are
solve this
not
problem?
listening.
How can
You
how
are
can
not listening.
how can money
Abhay
accumulated
wants
by
to say something.
animal lovers be the same as the Indian state?
Dada,
How
That's
can
a,
money
that's a, that's a
money
red
let
crowdfunding?
herring.
me break
That's
this
a
to
red
you.
herring.
No,
That's a ridiculous red
Dada,
herring.
You fail to realize that the money has
Dada,
run
I was
out on
let me
something.
break
no.
this
Do
to
you think they're
you.
I
sitting
am
on a pile
sorry.
of money for decades and not
My
spending it on anything
question was
anymore?
a
Dada,
very. I'm
Dada,
sorry. This is a ridiculous
Pack of
argument.
money and not
Oversimplification.
spending on anything. Do you
You
think
are
dog
not
lovers sit on a
listening.
pack of money and
You
spending
are
on nothing?
not
What are they
listening. You are
spending the
not
money on?
listening. You are
What
not
are they spending the
listening.
money on?
You are
I'm just
not
saying that they did
listening.
not do town halls.
Dada,
Yes,
You
they did
are
not do
not
town halls because yes,
listening.
they did not do town halls because they were spending money on vaccinations and neutering and spaying.
Let me
Okay,
finish my
okay.
point.
Dada,
Oh, it's still
The
Dada,
point.
I have a point to make. I have a point to make. Then Anand can go next. Okay.
I didn't
मेरा
answer him.
point
No.
यही है.
What is the wrong money they're spending? I didn't say they're not spending money on neutering or the other vaccinations. My point is, if a particular region of that city has had dog bites, and they know that because of dog bites, the public populace is going to get aggressive against dogs. They say, "Oh, I'll let Vikas Goyal do whatever he wants." Literally, that's literally what they're fighting. They're fighting the fact that this particular person is on a campaign against dogs, and they know that if this guy gets successful, he's going to kill all the dogs. Your first instinct would be, let me convince this population who are the primary victims of this not to support this guy.
And it's a misunderstanding that hasn't happened for decades. That has been going on. That is exactly what goes on.
Let me finish. And if then why? How did Vijay Goyal have so much power then? Why did you not rising up and say, how dare you do this? We didn't support. We didn't support
Vijay
this.
Goyal is in BJP. He would have no power if he was in Congress. No,
The
Vijay Goyal is
point
powerful
is-
only because he's in BJP. Let BJP
Come
go out of
on,
power. I'll
come
see
on.
what the fuck Vijay Goyal does. Let's see.
Come on.
Dada,
Let's see.
Dada,
What will he achieve under
Dada,
Rahul Gandhi?
How is it possible?
Let me
Sorry.
come in. Let me come in. The point raised by Anand has some relevance. There is a communication gap. Vijay Goyal wouldn't have been so successful had he not got public support. Public support his move to a certain extent. This is why he's going on pushing it. So why are those people supporting Vijay Goyal's move? That is something which animal lovers should think, because your goal is to save dogs. So
Exactly.
if people who support Vijay Goyal stop supporting Vijay Goyal, your problem is solved. That's
Exactly.
what Anand is. Okay.
Yes, and it's state incentivized.
And
The judiciary in Vijay Goyal
look,
is behind the dog shearers.
yes, he is there, but he must have got support from somewhere.
Yeah.
So
That
you
support would
pay
not have
for
come
his
if Vijay
support.
Goyal was not in BJP.
I didn't know, bhai. Someone else would have been there.
Someone else would have taken up the issue.
Then it would be a
Okay.
much more common issue, not just in Delhi BJP.
It's happening in Telangana.
Yeah,
It's happening everywhere.
That's not political in Telangana. It's not political
Yeah.
anywhere except Delhi BJP.
No.
No, same thing here also.
Anand,
Look,
1 minute.
Dada,
Which party?
Dada.
Which party was which party? The dog debate in South?
Sorry? Dada?
If the dog debate is political in the South as well, which parties are on either side? Because in Delhi it's only Congress versus
Everybody's
BJP.
on the same side in the sense that they're going after.
Dada, maybe in Delhi the situation is a bit different from the South. That is why, and it is not just because of Vijay Goyal. We have to understand this. Maybe Vijay Goyal is a manifestation of the society.
He's a
Where
Vijay Goyal
people
is
are-
the post-mortem.
people
He's not
have-
the source.
People have, okay, just 1 second. Where
Sorry,
people
Abhay,
have
sorry.
certain, yeah, no problem. Where people have certain discontent with dogs, and maybe that discontent is acute in Delhi. And that is why people like Vijay Goyal emerge. who go aggressive ape crap against dogs. So maybe we have to address the concerns of those people who have created this monster called Vijay Goya. So something has to be done from the dog lover side. Maybe this is too much responsibility on them, but they are the ones who are fighting for the lives of dogs. So at the end of the day, the people who are fighting will have to take up the responsibility. The people who don't care about dogs, how can we expect them to do something different? That is the point.
That's a fair point.
Right.
It's a fair point. And to sort of come to a productive, like, let's say, consensus, the Shreyan's point, what he mentioned was a great follow-up to that study we were all agreeing upon, which is that do it tiger conservation style and a rhino conservation style, collar them up, segregate them, color code everything, remove the violent dog out of... Sorry?
I think what you are saying, Ritvik, we should do it with all the city animals, not just dogs. Maybe today we have dogs, just one point. Today we have dogs, then some other city animal becomes a problem, like pigeon or crow, okay, or cat. So maybe okay. So this is a cat versus dog fight. So he's from the cat team. So whatever it is, do it for all the animals, not just dogs, because this is a good opportunity. When you are doing it for dogs, do it for every animal. Do it for pigeons, do it for crows, and solve the problem in one shot. Do it.
And
when you take this case to couple symbol, tell them to do this study. And then we shall represent such facts in quotes and take people who fear or hate dogs into confidence. That we are doing this study with an open mind. We are not drawing any conclusion.
You can't take people who hate dogs into confidence. I don't like them. But people who fear dogs, who genuinely fear dogs, take them into confidence.
Fear dogs.
Okay, as a further productive follow-up to this, Dada through CSK or through whatever channel possible, it could be done leopard, tiger conservation style. But this, everybody likes to use the buzzword AI. But in this, I do think, Anand, you're a software background. I hope you agree with me on this, that a image segmentation, through a street camera kind of a program should be implemented for these various animals as well, not just the
chip
dog.
them. Chip them.
No.
You can track the
redundancy. So you will have a camera. The camera is as such what you see on streets, like through the shop camera or something like that. The chips are the main thing you are observing. The primary data in your hand will be the chip / the collar, the color-coded collar. The married data, the sort of secondary, tertiary data will be any camera that you get access to that segments the thing one by another, or the phone camera that the person has uploaded, and the AI checks the phone to see if it's that same collar or the same dog. So it matches the data points and feeds more productive information into the system. Would you be okay, or would you be like supportive of that or no?
No, I want healthy dog populations to exist in cities. That is all. Do whatever is needed.
This will enable us to effectively determine the problem and target the solution.
Yes, I agree.
Cool. Dada, you can make a note of it and start advocating that.
Yeah. This is absolutely a brilliant point. And brilliant way to go about, I think. But we will end the live stream here because it's 3 hours and 70 minutes and I can't shout anymore at Anand at 12 in the night. I hope everyone heard me. Yeah. And no, by the way, Anand, I genuinely apologize to you for making the coward argument. It's just my dog radicalism that brought out that word. And remember that I have repeatedly made this point that radicals are who push the needle and moderates get a seat at the table because of those crazy radicals. And you can be radical at only the things that are closest to your heart. And therefore, people who genuinely hate Muslims will never be able to formulate proper laws on how to handle Islamism. It's people like us who don't hate Muslims but see the problem who will get a seat at the sane table. In the same way, I admit that I am never getting a sane table at the or I'm never getting invited to a sane discussion around dogs because I'm a radical in this context, and therefore I made that comment. I'm sorry, Anand. Okay, then thanks a lot for joining the live stream, guys, and coming up
Thank
with
you,
brilliant
Dada.
arguments
Thanks,
and
everybody.
points.
It's been a great conversation.
I'm sorry I got a little emotional as well. Just unfortunately, I'm
Yeah.
also coming from the fact that for me, I just see the fact that these. So I love dogs. Okay, let me be very clear. I love dogs a lot. So even when family members get scared of dogs, I will put myself between the dog and my family member. So I can at least moderate the family member's fear, and the dog is not too tense, right? The point fundamentally is the dog understands certain cues, human cues, and most people in this world don't understand those cues. That's the reality, because dogs descend from wolves. They don't just didn't magically pop up from anywhere, right? And they are essentially social animals. They're not like a tiger. They're not like a cat. They're not like any of the other animals that are generally very loner type animals. These are social animals that require cues from the herd, from the group, right? A single dog normally is not a threat to most people. Like almost anyone is not a threat. It's when they get into large groups that their dynamic behavior changes. The dynamic behavior. Remember, any dog, even if your friend, your nicest dog, your loving dog, when it gets into a group, it's the group dynamic defines its overall behavior. This is the way they are, because that's how they take cues from each other. So in the group, for example, if one becomes the alpha, right, and it is not the dog that you love, the alpha will determine how the behavior of that dog is, the animal that you love. So that alpha determines that the group will target something, even if your loving dog is loving to you all the time, and the alpha has decided that you're the target, it will target you, because that's how the dogs are like that. They're not like cats. They're not like pigs and all this stuff, right? So as long as human beings are taught, I think human education needs to also improve in India. Like people need to understand how dogs are, and the people who hate dogs, to me, I
मेरी
can't
आनंद जी से
sympathize.
गुजारिश है और डिमांड्स मत रखिए इंडियन स्टेट से.
No, I'm saying we should, if we really care for dogs. My point is, see, again, my burden is so much on the animal lover is because they have care for the animal. So when I care, like you said, no, they're radical about caring for something, then you will take any step possible to protect that animal. And there are some easier steps. Through communication, we don't have to fight the state. We can literally get people on side. The more people we get on side, the lesser power the state has. The state has lesser power the minute we
That's
get more
what was
people
going
on
on
our
before
side.
Vijay Goyal escalated.
Okay, it's possible. But then our job is to temper his power, which is what? To get more people on the side and get less people away from him.
Yeah,
And that is not going to work. That's not going to happen if we're going to take it as a us versus them. It should be a us versus the state. That's my point.
It will stop being us versus them when the dog fearers / dog haters or the dog haters stop defending animal cruelty, and that's not a commonality, because people who usually fear dogs are advocating for all the animal cruelty that's going on. Hence the aggression in
dog fearers never did. Then that's clearly telling you that the person are dog haters, not dog fearers. People just scared of dogs will never say kill an animal.
The state is doing their bidding for them.
There is a fear or hate.
They can't do anything. They're powerless. So they gave the power away to the state. You understand the distinction?
Yeah,
when you give power away to someone else. But your point is to take the power away from the state and take it back into your hands. So the dog fearers trust you rather than the state. That's my point.
ABC has to do its job, and ABC's stuff has to be enforced.
Just a little micro correction, Anand. It's not necessarily the wolf. There is the thing called the Indian dhole, which is the Indian wild dog you find in the forest.
The pariah dog.
Yeah, no, not the pariah. It's called search of dhole, DHO.
I know.
On the safari, yeah. So that's not technically a pariah. It's different.
It's a wolf. I know it's a wolf.
It's not a wolf.
Indian wild dog. They're all descended from the same canid species. I understand what you're saying.
It's a canid species. It's not a wolf. A wolf is different.
No, wolves are canids.
No, but it's division. There's a canid is the top. Wolf is one. This one is the other. Dole.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. I'm just talking about I'm talking about their group mentalities is very similar.
Yeah, no, the pack mentality is fair to say, right? Yeah. So yeah, Dada, just wondering if you have this in your notes, was also if there is a dog response to the human stimuli aspect to this that can be covered somehow. As in
with that data collection, it should be covered.
Yeah, as part of the data collection, yes.
Dole is extinct, by the way.
Yeah. that can be done, right?
I saw them. It's an endangered species. It's not extinct.
Oh, I thought it was extinct. I thought it was extinct.
No. A particular kind is, I think, though. Yeah. Sorry, Dada. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it can be done through the data collection procedure.
Yeah, okay, that's all I was asking for, because at the end of the day, then you have the dog on dog interaction, the dog on human interaction, and segregated for different breeds, and with the assumption that certain breeds are bred to behave a certain way. So that's a good baseline. And also the territorial aspect, which is intrusions of territories, these sort of
because of the territory because of the territory they can't be shifted to anywhere and everywhere, which is the ABC directive itself, which works if the ABC did their other job
as the baseline.
But if a dog is growling for no reason, that dog is lost. That dog needs to be taken out of that neighborhood, because a dog does not growl for no reason. That dog probably already has rabies. It has rabies.
Right.
No. The dogs growl also because of the learned behavior. So, for example, if you're a particular your behavior is a certain stimulus, you create a certain stimulus to it. So, for example, it is regularly being assaulted by people with certain hair color and body size, right? And you happen to match that, then it will growl at you.
The stray dog won't, because the stray dog is used to that kind of diversity anyway. The house dog.
No, not necessarily. Not even the stray dog.
The stray dog.
It's all about your pattern. It's all pattern behavior. That's all.
But more importantly, even if that dog doesn't have rabies but is growling at somebody because it recognizes its clothes and stuff, even then that dog needs to be taken out, because it's about to bite someone anyway.
It needs to see. There are two ways to do this. Either you take it out to vaccinate it. You can, if you find it's has a problem, you still need to train it when you return it back. So you need to invest in training the animal again. Train it in like de-escalatory behaviors. It needs to be trained.
I'm saying you have enough. I think this factor is affordable for the Indian state, that you have shelters and proper cages and stuff for just those dogs who have shown aggressive behavior, who have started growling and stuff. For them, we can actually have proper shelters, but not for every random dog that Vijay Goyal wants to send.
On Twitter, I believe you have been tagged on a post that there is a startup featured on Runtime BRT which handles a dog home, like a dog ashram. I think I had tagged you under my Twitter pseudonym a long time ago. I say long time, like within less than a month. It was like probably a few days ago. If you just search Runtime BRT on Twitter, Runtime BRT, that covers various startups. Under that, there is a startup in Hyderabad or something that covers. There's made a dog home and a dog ashram to like a very more formalized rescue home.
Even for homes, I prefer them being outside the city, not in the city.
Oh, it is outside the city, and it is outside to the city.
I'll tell you why. Because what happened to rehabilitate a dog, it needs peace and quiet. It cannot have so much noise and dust.
It can't get into any other dog's territory. Yes.
It needs space.
One thing was, there are other sort of troubled dogs there, but they're all with trainers. So there's enough humans involved there as well. So if you will see a tag there, just look at it when you get the time. And you found it, okay? Yeah. That's all. That's just more productive to like direct the attention to what can be done.
Yeah, because we are having this conversation between dog lovers in the end, not dog haters.
I'll give you an example. Okay, very interesting example. My sister's dog. Okay, it's very sweet dog, very very sweet dog. Okay, I didn't know this until they told me this happened. It happened to me and they told me. So both of them are her husband and her are sitting with the dog and petting it. So I assumed I can pet the dog because it's so cute. It's like, and I petted the dog before on its own. Just on its own, I petted the dog. Very sweet, won't do anything. I came here, it started growling and bit me. Like the dog was like, just did that to my hand. You know why? Because it has a certain rule. When it is being petted by its parents, other people can't come and pet it.
It's like
now a normal human being will not know this particular rule in the dog's head. Some random rule the dog has in its head, which you don't know. It has a rule. Of course, it's a stimulus that it observes. Right? A random person will not know the stimulus.
That random person will run into stray dogs, not such catered situations.
All dogs are like all dogs are like.
Don't you think it is an interesting observation that a lot of dogs have the same behavior?
All dogs have learned behavior.
Wait.
All dogs have learned behavior. we just don't observe the street dogs learn behavior because they're so common. Like there's
All behavior
a
is
large
behavior.
swath of all behavior is behavior, right?
Imagine this was a petted dog, okay, with this particular rule which Anand talked about. Imagine when it comes to stray dogs, their experiences are diverse. So we don't even know what rule they have in their minds. We have no idea.
No, but they're
Can I just
no, this
say
is irrational
that-
fear mongering again because of Anand. But that stray dog has that.
It's not irrational, bhai.
No stray dog has
It's
a
not
master.
irrational.
Guys,
Because it's such low in numbers, therefore
guys,
it's irrational.
please, a point that we can all hence
No,
agree
no,
on that
no.
I've observed again here is that the dog is just as human in its behavior like a human child in this particular aspect, for example. Like, for example, so wouldn't that, so as a result, this should also be considered when you're observing it. That if you treat it as a sentient being and as a equivalence to a human, like Lord Shiva does with his dog, it should be treated with respect, in the sense that it should be assumed that you're not biasing the human and non-human sentiment here. Would that be fair to say?
It is a sentient being. You have to treat it with respect. That goes without saying.
It is a sentient being, but
it doesn't mean doesn't mean they're not peaceful. Like Niranjan saying, they're all like, oh, I'm a Sati Sadhu, like sit peacefully on my chair. They're not peaceful.
As far as I am concerned, look,
that's propaganda.
Okay, as far as I am concerned, I will treat dog as a sentient being with respect, but no, they are not equivalent to humans. When it comes to protecting a small kid and a dog, I will protect the kid, because that kid is part of my species, and I, as a species, as a human species, have the right to protect myself and protect my species.
That's fair to say, but
will you protect that?
will
you protect that human child hypothetically, or kill all dogs?
For the interest of science and religion and everybody involved,
obviously you protect your human.
No, I mean, no, I'm not saying the dog equal human, none of that. All I'm saying is that as its own thing, you cannot bias yourself saying that, it's a dog, it may not have the brain to think like a human. No, this particular petted behavior itself is one word to word you see in babies and in toddlers. So
toddlers and dog brains are same.
Oh, okay. I'll take that.
That's a stretch. That's a stretch.
2 to 3 year old human babies are equivalent to a dog who has been at a home for more than 2-3 years.
Okay.
Is it why all these dog lovers have what they call themselves dog parents, not dog owners? They call them dog parents.
I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
Yes.
No, I don't agree. I love dogs, but no, I'm not. I'm never going to be a dog parent. I'm a dog owner.
Agree to disagree.
I will not accept this.
Dada, that's a fair conclusion. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Agree to disagree. You think I do propaganda? I think you do propaganda.
Okay then. Thanks Abhay, thanks Anand, thanks Rudvik, thanks guys in the live chat, and thanks Rudvik Extra for moderating the debate.
Thank you, Father Anand Sridhar. Hallelujah, Father Anand Sridhar.
You father, don't do that.
Like that. You're in absolute right.
Yes. And this looks like a church priest. Your headphone looks like that church priest black white thing here.
Oh, ye wala. Oh, I see.
Oh, I have this.
Yeah, actually, मेरे साथ क्या हुआ आनंद कि मैंने आपको देखा ये कौन फादर आ गया मैंने जब सबसे पहले वीडियो ऑन किया मुझे लगा कौन फादर आ गया यहाँ पे कोई फादर क्या प्रीच करने आया भाग ही गया फादर
he quit the studio.
Dada, so when's the next live stream? When's the next audience interaction live stream?
Not tomorrow, probably Monday or Wednesday.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thanks guys. Thanks live chat guys. Bye bye. Okay. Good night. See you all soon.
কালো তোকে বলে সবাই আমি দেখি আলো কালো তোকে সবাই আমি দেখি আলো কালো তোকে বলে সবাই আমি দেখি আলো বিপদে মা তোকে ডাকে সবাই আমি যেন তোকে রাখি ভালো বিপদে মা তোকে ডাকে সবাই আমি যেন তোকে রাখি ভালো কালো তোকে বলে সবাই আমি দেখি আলো রূপে মা তুই জগৎ জননী ভুবন মোহিনী বেশ মা তোর রূপে মা তুই জগৎ জননী ভুবন মোহিনী বেশ মা তোর আধারে খুঁজেছে জ্ঞানহীনে আধারে খুঁজেছে জ্ঞানহীনে হৃদয়ে খোঁজেনি আলো মা তোর আলো তোকে বলে সবাই আমি দেখি আলো কালো তোকে বলে সবাই আমি দেখি আলো বিপদে মা তোকে ডাকে সবাই আমি যেন তোকে রাখি ভালো